Welcome to McArthur Live. I'm your host, Tim Bartz, along with my co-host,
Sarah Davis.
Welcome into the live stream. I think our audio is good. I did an audio.
Are they both lighting up green?
I did it.
Yes.
I did the double
Okay.
check before we got into it. Should be good to go. And we're back together again. So it's felt like it's been several weeks of us apart and everything. And this is a much better setting than what we had.
I mean,
better audio
2
too.
weeks ago in Vegas, we were in the same place.
Yeah, before we were,
But since then, we haven't had a regular schedule.
Anyway, so we're here. And so some of you might be listening to the podcast because we are going to be recording this in podcast version as well. You can find it on 15 different streaming platforms. I think Apple Podcasts will be the only one. Maybe you wouldn't be able to find it on all the others. You should be able to find us. Just Ford Video Guy on that and look for that. You should find that podcast. And if you are listening to the podcast, I'll try to describe the best I can, but like a lot of images today. A lot of dealer news updates that I want to cover. And in fact, I'm moving the things around this week's. And so, yeah, this is a little dark over there. Anyway, I think because our showroom is dark.
They turned off the lights.
Yeah,
Usually
lights.
we turn them back on.
Anyway, so, but those who listen to podcasts, it doesn't matter, right? But we do have some visuals. So if you want to check those out, check out the live stream on our YouTube channel instead. So if you're getting started on this, going, you know what? Let me drive over there because we're going to do scheduling notes, news updates. Then we're going to do recalls. And then we're going to do dealer news updates and some Ford media stuff before diving into the Is It True and the private offer. So a lot of good stuff this week. I'm excited for this episode. So anyway, before we get into that, I'd like to kind of recap. So what's going on last week?
I keep forgetting my computer for the lives. And I think it's because I was over there for some lives.
Are you going to run out of juice on that phone there?
I have a charger. It's okay. Would be okay.
I'm both trying to get over this sickness.
Yep. Still trying to get over it.
Mine's gotten some more of a dry cough now. I got most of the congestion gone.
I've had a dry asthmatic cough for like a week and a half.
Best part of my day is getting in the shower for about 15 minutes and having that steam just loosen everything up. But anyway, not that we talk. This isn't McArthur medical live, but anyway, but yeah. So
don't make me laugh.
We had your kids over for Saturday night.
Yep.
Lost a remote.
Yeah, I heard that you found it in the trash can.
Mr. Theo likes to pick things up quietly. He's a quiet little guy. He just picks things up and then he puts them somewhere else. And he put a remote in the trash can.
No, we had a brand new bottle of Mucinex. Brand new bottle, never opened, sitting on the table, and we're looking for it. We're like, where did it go? We haven't opened it yet. And he's like, did Theo throw it in the trash? And we've been running around for like 5 minutes now trying to find it. Sure enough, he had thrown a brand new full bottle into the trash. And we found it. I think that's where my hairbrush went. Yeah.
So anyway. All right. I'm printing.
So
it's kind of nice. I forgot. I was like, I forgot to, people are going to be commenting on the remedies for you to get rid of that cough. Did you try anything they mentioned last week?
Yeah. Stuff that I had already been trying for several weeks.
Anyway, but no, I got a printer under here, so I can print my notes.
I probably just need to go get some warm water.
Yeah. I got the cough drop in today. I haven't really needed it, but usually I just pump liquids.
They reminded me, don't tap the Endscreen.
Yes.
They thought it was funny.
Don't touch your phone. See that end? Don't touch it right there. That corner, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
So we did on our member live the other day. I think I'm on automatic exposure, so when I'm close, it lights up. Anyway, and she was on the member live, and she was trying to exit the studio, and she actually hit end, and she's like, no, and it's like there's a little delay, and then all of a sudden it ended. So yes,
yeah.
So members are taking care of us.
Yep.
So, all right. Anyway, but yeah. So other than that, and I signed up over the weekend. I signed up for the Bronco off rodeo finally for my 2021 Ford Bronco. So going to Moab. And I think we have it set up to where I think that Brian and Melissa will be our trail guides.
I just saw a thing that they just went out with a group this past week.
Okay. I'm going to say on the 2nd, they're going to be, they said that the 2nd that weekend they wouldn't be there because they had some going on.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, and they probably went to the Baja 1000, maybe. You know.
No,
well,
this
we'll talk
past
about that
weekend they
later.
were out with the Bronco Sports,
Oh,
and one of the couples that was out at Bronco Off Rodeo got engaged while out on the trails.
that's cool. I'm debating. I'm trying to figure out what vehicle we're gonna drive to Moab because it's a 12-hour drive.
Help him decide.
Between flights and everything, we're trying to. It would be like 9 hours in flight time and about $2,000. So we're like, well, shoot, let's just drive there and just pay for gas. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna drive to Moab, and so we're trying to decide whether we're gonna take the Bronco or the Maverick trimmer. I'm sure your mom wants the Bronco, but it's louder. The Maverick trimmer, it's a lariat. So adaptive cruise, quiet. That thing handles like a gym, and it might be fun. I mean, they take the Bronco Sports out there. It'd be no different than a Maverick trimmer. So maybe they'll show us around some trails that we can hit. And we're only going to go down there and come right back. So we only have like a couple evenings there. So not a lot of time outside of the off rodeo, but we'll see. Anyway, it'll be a lot of fun. So sign up for that. So looking forward to that. And we're doing that December 9th. So we're actually Thursday night. We're going to start, head that way, stay in
Luckily, Julie had already taken that Sunday off for her maternity pictures, which I'm taking. And
well, there you go. We're taking it anyway. All right. Well, let's get into.
She doesn't have any
Did you have
complaints
anything?
about
I
it.
didn't just highlight things I did, but
I mean, over the weekend we deep cleaned the house. We are rid of all mice. So deep clean the kitchen, deep clean the living room, deep clean the family room. We deep cleaned the entire house over the weekend. Did not feel like it, but we did it.
All right. Should we give a shout out to some members? Or let's talk about membership first.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you'd like to become a member, you just hit that join button. It's right there by that subscribe button. If you're an iPhone user, you have to do things differently. You have to go up to your web browser, hit the little A and big A, and request desktop browser from there. At that point, you should see it. And our members get member-only content that can be found under the community and membership tabs. We do announcements under the community tabs for our members, announcing if our live stream is going to be different that week, or we're going to be somewhere, or sometimes we're just talking about our weekend. We'll post when we're on a trip. We'll post a video. I still need to post those. Sorry, members. Vegas was just, it drained me. I have stuff to post specifically for you guys. Yeah. So it's more of a vlog with special live streams and a weekly video.
Last week when I was in Atlanta, I did a little video of Centennial Park there for the members and that kind of stuff. So kind of fun. All right. Also, speaking of different things, before we get into well, actually, let's highlight our members first. We'll talk about the rest of the stuff. You ready for that?
Yeah. We got Alan saying pretty much over. All right. Saying pretty much over COVID, just getting back strength. Now it's the long part. We have Brian Foster here. Hello from Southern California. My son and I will be at McArthur Saturday morning to pick up my son's 23 Maverick.
And I'll be here. I'm not going. I'm
He's
not going to take that trip to the other.
I might try and make it over that morning. I don't think Lebo's working Saturdays right now. Let's see. We have Vols 44. My order date was 9/23/21. Picked up hybrid XLT after Niles added DIOs on 10/3/22.
I think they're just talking about timeline because
Yeah.
Don, he actually picked up his Maverick.
He did. That is right.
Yep. So.
Of course, we have Ridgeview.
Mm-hmm.
One of our moderators and member. I know the sun rises late in Florida, unlike in Maine. We also have Niles Gridley, who is our in-house aftermarket person, also one of our moderators.
Yep.
Giving advice on aftermarket questions that you may have. So if you have an aftermarket question, tag at Niles Gridley.
Speaking of that, I ordered a bed cover for the Maverick.
The fast stop.
Yes. So we're gonna do. You definitely will talk about my channel later, but you'll want to be subscribed to my personal channel because we're gonna do some Maverick content over there on my Maverick, and including install stuff. So I'll show things I've added to this recently that were easy add-ons. But also we're gonna do an install on that cover, and we might actually put that on the McArthur one as well because it's a nice cover. So I'll probably put it on both. But
I'll at least get a short done.
anyway,
I mean,
yes,
the shorts involving your Maverick tend to blow up. So
I'm gonna do the install myself. So we're gonna show.
Oh, you're doing install yourself.
I'm gonna do it myself.
Do I need to be there to film this?
Like with the Bronco, I do my own stunts, except for suspensions.
Suspension and your
tailgate table.
No,
the front bumper.
Front bumper, modular bumper.
Yeah. Yep. Although, anyway. But yeah, I'll do that. I think that can install that. So it's basically a soft tonneau cover with the thing that's actually underneath.
Really cool.
That should be in a bag that should be able to just mount in there, and then it can come out. So we'll do an install on it, and then also how it works and everything. But I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, okay, going on. Sorry, other members.
We have Clarence Roller, who is asking questions about his vehicle and asking if Niles might have some knowledge on how to help him. Midcoast Maine, can't wait for March to set the clocks ahead again. I'm right there with you. Let's see.
Mabsim
is here.
Been
yes, thank
half
you.
of a year, 6 months. So
yes, I just highlighted him.
There you go. So let's see. Was he a member of Fort Carlisle after?
Right before
5 months ago.
Right before.
Before.
And then he was the one that was like, "Hey, instead of mailing the member packet, just bring it on down." And I missed it by like a day.
Yep.
So
we still have a salesperson here. I'm not sure what finance is taking so long to get in there. It's not only customers complain about time to get in, sales guys don't like it anymore, or the customers.
Yeah.
But they did come measure for a spot over here, so you wouldn't see people walking by. But the mural, I call it a mural or whatever. So let's hopefully get done.
We have Ragnar Khan in the house.
All right.
And he sent me a question ahead of time.
Hopefully he saw my email reply 30 minutes before the live stream.
About the Bronco?
Yeah.
Okay. So he had sent that to me as well. So I don't need to reply to that.
I sent him some information that he was asking for.
We have MM here. She says it's been a while since she's been able to catch a live stream with us.
Awesome.
Good to see you back.
And a recent Maverick owner. Not that long that she's had her Maverick, I think. I've been following that group too.
Is that
closely.
No, this is Margaret Montgomery.
I'm thinking of
MM Mav.
Okay, yes.
This is Margaret. MM who has her Bronco.
Who has a Bronco, but that hasn't been too long either.
No.
So I'm not totally off there.
It can get confusing with two different forums.
And I'm excited. We do have some Bronco information. It's been a while since we had Bronco goods. And since it just came out today, I might be one of the first ones. I'm sure it's already on Bronco 6G, but hopefully I'll be one of the first ones out there with some of this information on it and the details. Because, anyway. And we do have a member that we need to reach out to. Because now we can, we'll get into it later. I'll talk to that later. All right. Any other member shout outs?
We have Montauk, 31 likes. Hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, hit the thumbs up.
Best way to support us.
So, all right, 125 in here, 31 likes. Come on, people. That pushes it out so other people can get it, see it, and then pop in as well. So,
yeah.
Anybody else? Thank you to all of our members. If we didn't highlight you, sorry about that. We do love our members, and I think our members know we appreciate them. Love the content we try to give. Special time that we take out for them. So. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you very much.
We have Aurora Harmon in here, and she's not tagged as a member, but she is.
We know she is.
Saying hello to everyone.
Awesome. Yeah, Aurora, make sure your dad does a good job monitoring. That's okay. Just kidding. Anyway, all right. Aurora is Ridgeview's daughter, if you guys didn't know
Yes.
that. So, all right.
So our moderator.
She may not want. No, just kidding. My daughter sent beside me, so she didn't have a choice but to claim me. All right. Let's see what else. Don't forget merch. Actually wearing some of the merch right here.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a discount code going on right now. Got one of the hats too. So we're gonna add some more stuff
Yes.
to it soon, and I'll probably be ordering some
You
stuff.
need to give me all the login stuff so I can just do what I
Yeah.
want.
So, and I don't know if let me look and see if there's a discount code going on right now. They're always having things, different promos going. I don't remember where to go to find that stuff.
For what?
My promo. If there's
Oh,
any promo
codes. Again, give me the login.
Is it down here? Here. Promos. Campaigns. There we go. So what's today? The 14th. So tomorrow there is a sale, 20% off everything, starting tomorrow, running through November 19th, and then starting, or if you want to wait, the 24th, 1 day blitz, 30% off everything. If you want to wait till the 24th. So that's probably the best deal. And then there is a 15% off for you and free shipping, says. And that's 11/27 through 12/3. So we'll keep you updated on those. But 11/24, is that Thanksgiving? That's Black Friday. Black Friday sales, 30% off all merch. So there you go.
There we go.
Gonna wait for that.
You know, most people probably wouldn't go in there and be like, hey, here's our promo codes.
Yep. And it'll actually be at the top of the page when you log in, not through YouTube, but if you click on that to go to our shop, and the link is in the description as well. If you go in that there,
I will say, make sure you're in US dollars.
Yeah, it'll actually show it at the top. So the discount code. Man, that's really dark now. Oh well. Oop, there it lights up. I could kick out, but I don't want to do that.
No, let's not kick out. No.
All right. Anyway, let's see what else. Recent videos this week. We finished up some SEMA videos from that, including the vinyl wrap. And then yesterday, the LMP 4x4 off-road, kind of embarrassing. Sometimes, when I'm going through information, I just I mention something and I don't know. I slip. There's a slip. And I edited it. I recorded that a long time ago, and there's just one slip in the whole video. And yesterday I had one, and some people called me out on that the trimmer wheels that are on that package are 18s, not 17s, like I said in the video. So I went into YouTube and clipped that part out. So, because it's good content, and so sometimes people, if they can find one thing wrong that you did wrong in the video, they will point it out, and everybody will point it out, even if somebody already pointed it out. Man, they will keep doing it. The lightning bolt video, I mentioned something was just a slip, and good content information, and I didn't want to have to redo the video, so I just clipped that part just a little bit where I mentioned, because I said the OEM wheels, and then I mentioned right after that said 17-inch. I just took out that part, and can't even tell it wasn't there. Oh well. Things that happen. I'm not perfect. And then upcoming videos, 2024 Mustang Mach-E information. So we do have an overview. We have information you need to know about ordering and such. I know I should have done it last week. I was gone, so wasn't able to. We were at SEMA and then followed up with another trip to Atlanta. So about a week out of the dealership. So those videos, expect those Wednesday, Thursday, Friday evening for those 3 videos. The complete guide videos on the select and premium trim. And then the Black Diamond off-road package for the Bronco Sport. Recorded that over a week ago, and that'll go live one morning. Not tomorrow morning. Thursday morning. That'll go live Thursday morning for that video as well. So some video content there. So anyway, all right. Don't forget the channels we support. They're in the description. Check those out. This keeps going in and out from light and dark. Just don't put your hands up. And I like to just talk with my hands. All right. Anyway, do you have a good dealer moment?
I do.
Well, I'll give you 3 seconds.
You're funny. All right. This is from Kingpin 003 on Maverick Truck Club. Just submitted the form to... So Maverick Truck Club does have a form to submit good dealers to. Mm-hmm. He highly recommends Bud Clary Ford in Longview. Is W.A. Washington?
Mhm.
Washington. I'm an hour and change north, but they were accommodating to the distance and handled much of the process online. They had a cancellation on a 23 XLT. They called me and offered it at MSRP as soon as they got the VIN. They followed through with that and were helpful and relatively communicative throughout the build process.
All right.
So, Bud Clary Ford in Longview, Washington.
There you go. Pretty cool. All right.
Every time I leave the page with StreamYard, I have to re-enter the studio.
Be careful. Don't end our stream.
No, like it kicks me out of the stream every time I go to a different page.
All right. Let's get into scheduling notes. And on this one here, I got to be ready because we're going to use this camera over here. All right. So let's get into scheduling information. All right. So this week, I actually am going to do, move over a little bit. We're going to actually, of course, give you all the terms and everything as we talk about this. Usually forget that once I dive into Mustang. But also, there's several different forums that have posted the commodity constraint. And, those are confidential sheets. But since I found it somewhere else online, I can show you guys the sheets because it's not ones that I got, even though they are the same. So we're going to use that. So hopefully Ford had an issue with that because I'll reference the resource of those. But first off, let's get into terminology. There you go. So order banks, we're going to talk about scheduling here, and that's scheduling of your order for production. So to do that, an order has to be in the order bank. So order bank is where those orders are placed, whether it be stock or retail orders. And there is a difference. A retail order is a customer placed order. So that is where, hey, this customer wants to order a vehicle and they put them in as a retail order. And then if a dealer doesn't, but they have allocations coming up, they would want to put in some stock orders so they can get some stock inventory on their lot. So when people come by, they need a vehicle, they have some stock inventory. So that's the difference between those. Now, priority codes will be given to those orders. Retails will get anything from a 03. That is wrong there. Now it's 0 to 3, or 3 to 19 instead of 10 to 19 are retail orders, and 20 to 80 are stock. The lower, the better. So retail orders are always looked at first. And in some situations, Ford will actually take an order and they'll give it an 02, and that'll drop it lower than an 03, which is what dealers can do. And that gives those orders even higher priority. And occasionally, like Raptors, specialty vehicles, you'll get an 01. An 01 is a guaranteed scheduling the next time they schedule, the next time you have allocation. Scheduling, which is what we're talking about here. And scheduling is when Ford schedules an order for production for future months and future dates. So you'll get scheduled. Usually it'll be scheduled for a certain week, which is the production date there when Ford plans to build the vehicle. They can get moved around. Even up to a week before, those dates can get moved. Somebody mentioned that, hey, my date was this week, got moved to next week, and then it got moved to a month away from now. What is to believe? Get with your dealer. They can actually get you what that updated date is. They can get moved around. And why would they move around? It's basically because of supply issues. They didn't get the parts they thought they were going to get to be able to build your vehicle. And so sometimes orders got to get shifted around based on those supplies. Allocations. Allocations are what Ford dealers need an allocation to schedule an order. So they basically, a dealer can put in 100 orders. They're not going to all get scheduled just because a dealership can put in 100 orders. The dealership earns an allocation to use that to be able to schedule that order. So a dealer needs that allocation to schedule it, use it in order bank. A dealer earns allocations from their sales of each model within the region. So it's called a sales velocity analysis, and basically based on how many you sell. Typically, whatever you sell, that's what you earn. So it's a turn and earn is what they call it. It means if you turn it, you sell it, you earn it. And so like if we typically sell 50 F-150s a month, we will normally get about 50 allocations a month for F-150. So kind of that same purpose. Lately, we've been selling about 50. I think we sold 53 Mavericks last month. We're already to 40 this month, and we're halfway through the month. We're going to get a big chunk of allocations. So that's usually how that works. Constraints, there are options that may be in short supply or take longer to build. Capacity is the planned production rate within that. So they kind of work hand in hand. Capacity is what they plan for. So, I actually had somebody that had commented in that, Ford will make every XL if no matter what it is. Not necessarily. If their capacity is 23% for Maverick XLs, that's what they're going to make for the production year. And it's planned because of what they feel like what people are wanting. And so even if they have more orders than that, they won't necessarily build them all. So they will build within their capacity, whatever that capacity is for that motor, trim, option, whatever it might be. And constraints would be where those numbers get off. So if they have more orders than what their capacity is, that would be a constraint. Or if they're not getting things from their suppliers, so they can't stay to capacity, that would also be a constraint. So like if they're having issues getting the multi-contoured seat adjustments, then that would be a constraint because they no longer can provide and build those or schedule those for production because they have a part constraint from their supplier. Job 1 and 2, they will split the production run into 2 different model years and production. One of them we're going to talk about later on the Mustang. Mustang is now in job 2, and with job 2 brought a new package. So that's where they would sometimes throw that in is a new job 2. If they were like, hey, we don't want to wait a full year for this. This package is ready. Wasn't ready at launch, but now it's ready halfway through the year. Job 2 will introduce those packages and maybe some changes. Balance out, that is the end of production or for a particular model or option. So like we've seen a balance out on certain colors on some models like Bronco for 23. We see that balance out for a particular model. We are now in balance out for the Edge ST, for instance. That's balance out not only for the model year, but also for the production cycle. So anyway, so there's some of the terminology. If you have any other questions, any of those, we'll answer those at the end of the section after we go through scheduling. So, all right. Now, let's start with 24 model year Mustang. And let me get in here because, nope, that's not what I wanted. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. Sorry. All right, so there we go. Oh, you can't see it. There. All right. So there is the commodity constraints for the Mustang. So there's currently 1,250 orders, and I did find this in the Mustang 67g.com forum, which is where I found this information. It was posted on there. And so you can see those constraints. I wouldn't be concerned with, actually, this is different than what I have in here. I think this might have been last week's information that does say 1126. I have 1250 on mine. So with only that many unscheduled orders, it's probably none of these are really going to be much of a constraint right here. So even though it says 50% over 20%, with only 1,100 orders, they can build more than that. That none of these should really be a constraint. And be a concern for anybody. So just keep that in mind. They are not scheduling this week though. So they will, this is going to be the first week for most of the scheduling, but it is not going to be coming this week. So for the Mustang anyway. So, and let's see, also dealers with, it says BTS. I think maybe built for stock. I don't know. Mustang Dark Horse allocation must place an eligible order without the Dark Horse handling package, or the allocation may be lost and/or allocation fulfillment order may be generated. So, so basically means that if the dealer has an allocation for Dark Horse, you got to take off the handling package, or you might lose that allocation. So something to think about. Maybe using the stock one if you have a customer that wants that handling package. So that is, again, a handling package is a constraint there. So, all right. Order banks are open up for the 24 model year Mustang. Moving to 24 model year Escape. Escape is, they are scheduling this week, and they're scheduling for build weeks January 1st through February 26th. So they're scheduling for a 2-month run here. There's currently 936 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank, and 15% of those are plug-in hybrid. So There you go. And plug-in hybrid allocations are separate from regular hybrid and gas ones. So moving on. Oh, and then order banks are open up for the 24 model year Escape. 24 model year Bronco Sport. And there's currently 309 unscheduled retail orders. Not that many. So, we do have information on. Let me get over here to it. Nope, I don't. Okay, I don't have that information on Bronco Sport. But there really isn't a constraint there, because with only 309, they can build like 8 or 10,000 in a month. So not a problem with anything, no matter what it is. It does say early commit for retail orders. So they are going to be scheduling for production weeks January 1st through February 26th. A 2 month. I don't think they're going to see a lot of scheduling in December. I think that's why we're seeing 2 months of scheduling this month, because of the holidays and everything else. They usually are shut down for 2 weeks. So there you go. And order banks are open up for the Bronco Sport, including the freewheeling edition and the black appearance package, and all those are available. So moving on, 24 model year Edge. Currently 645 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Not that many. It says January scheduling. So they were currently for this month, we were going to schedule for December and January, but now they're basically filled up for December. So we're looking for January build dates. Edge ST is balanced out. That means they're not going to, if you have a 24 model year Edge ST order in the order bank, it's not going to get scheduled. It won't. It's gone. It's done, and they're done for the year. So you better find a stock one out there somewhere. That's all I have. Otherwise, I believe the order banks are closed for that as well. So we are, I think April is when they're ending production with that. So I think maybe order banks might be open up on that. It says stock. So stock, you can order a stock one. So get with your dealer. They can throw in a stock order for you, and they would get scheduled. But it does look like retail ordering has been closed for that. So 24 model year Ranger. I might have Ranger. Yes. I think there's not much on it, but let me show you Ranger. So I found this on the Ranger. I think it's Ranger7G.com.
Is it
Or 6G?
It's
Is it
6G.
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 Getting that Mustang confused. It's the Ranger6G.com. I found this on their website. They posted it. Again, this is not from mine, but from theirs. Anyway, so you can see there's 3856 unscheduled orders. That's going up. That's because they haven't been able to schedule orders. And they're not going to schedule this week either. So sorry to give you the bad news on that. Scheduling will resume next month. Actually, they're not going to schedule it all for Ranger this month. So scheduling next month. Order banks are open up right now. And as you can see, there aren't any constraints at all for that. So there you go. All right. And then go back. 24 model year Bronco. So we are done with 23 model year. We're down now to 24 model year Bronco. Order banks are open up for the 24 model year Bronco. And 23 is balanced out. It says priority scheduling this week only. So that includes Raptor, 4-door Heritage Limited, 4-door Heritage, and Everglades. So if you have one of those, great news for you. And be checking your emails on Thursday. Best availability is Raptor with the optional beadlock wheel and Heritage Limited. There you go. So if you had that Heritage Limited you're waiting on, there you go. Important. We're going to talk about news about this. Oh, it says 2-door Heritage Limited are available, but not yet eligible for selection. So we'll talk more about that in a second. There is news about the Heritage and Heritage Limited Edition. So we'll talk about that here in just a little bit as a part of the dealer news updates. For 24 model year, specialty vehicle scheduling process launched for, okay, this is just for dealers. So basically they have, now we can see how many allocations we're going to get, and they're going to separate those out in the system so we can see that. It does say ongoing mix required for build Raptor, 66% optional wheel, and 57% leather based on dealer allocation. So that's the kind of the mix that they're looking for. So leather optional wheel, looking pretty good if you got one of those. So again, your dealer needs a Raptor allocation for it to get scheduled, right? Don't forget that. Order banks are open up for 24 model year. And then I do have this information if you want to see it. So currently, looks like we do have, it says 8,836 unscheduled orders. This is not to give us a year. And I assume this is 23 though, because the reason I say that is because if you look, Everglades says 0 and base is listed and base isn't available in 24. So you keep popping this on there.
Yes.
So we know this is probably 23 information. So if you are one of these 8,800 people that have an order for 23, don't forget to place your order for 24 as well. They do not carry over. This is done. Anybody that has an order in here that's not going to happen. These 8,800, those will probably get cleared out at some point. Make sure you have your 24 model year order. So keep that in mind. So these 8,800 people, make sure hopefully you ordered that 24. So, and we'll talk about one of them that you're like, well, Tim, you can't order that right now. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. All right. There you go. So we won't talk about the breakdown on some of that, but they're really outside of just a couple trims like Everglades, Raptor, and Heritage Edition. They're really about any configuration. You should be good. Yeah, should be all right. Moving on, 24 model year Maverick. Order banks are open up for this. There's currently 37,450 orders in the order bank, or unscheduled retail orders. They are scheduling this week for production weeks January 1st through February 26th. We have like 150 allocations. I think 150 allocations. That's for 2 months. So it'll be an average of 75 a month. So there you go. Let's see. Otherwise, other than that, it says due to delay in AM preview, for more information available tomorrow. So we weren't able to see if any were previewing. Here is, I think I have information on this one. There you go. Again, I got this. Now the Bronco one I got from Bronco 6G. This one here I received from the Maverick Truck Club. So thank you, Maverick Truck Club, for allowing me to post it. And let me clarify some things here, because I get a lot of people that got all freaked out about this number right here and saying, uh-oh, they're over constrained. I'm not going to get my hybrid built. Keep in mind, this row right here is based on this number down here. This here is based on the full production for the year. We know they are going to produce over 100,000 Mavericks. They built 100,000 last year, and that was before they ramped up production for the third shift towards the end of the year. They're probably going to make about 120,000 Mavericks this year. So these percentages are based off that. So figure that out. 120,000, 55% of that. Divide that by 12 months. We still have a good, 6 to 7 months of production left. And then figure out 76% of this number, and you'll see we're well within that. In fact, if you figure this here, 37,000, and you figure about 10,000 a month, that's about 4 months. So we're talking January, February, March, April. They'll have every one of these unscheduled retail orders probably scheduled for production by the end of April. They'll still have May, June, July, probably August, 4 months of things they can build with no orders in there. So everybody should be okay. It's just those people that are probably in this row, maybe in the XL, it just will take longer. It won't get scheduled this month, maybe not next month, or maybe not this month for January, February, but they will get scheduled eventually. So yeah, shouldn't really forget about anything. If you're splash guards, I would stay away from it though. So the more of these, let's say you have XL hybrid and you have splash guards, you're just asking for trouble, right? Even hits, you're good, they can build everyone they have, that kind of thing. So there you go. So that's kind of more information about that I can now share, since I can visually show it to you, thanks to the Maverick Truck Club. So there you go. And then moving on to the next one, and that's the last one. I don't have any other sheets from the others. So yeah, 24 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up for 24 model year. There's currently 246 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They are scheduling this week for production weeks January 1st through February 26th, and that's for the launch of 24 model year. That startup is what they call that. They will start scheduling orders. It says on 11:30, but they said they're scheduled this week, so I'm confused by that. Somebody needs to update that. And then the 23 model year will balance out December 22nd. Limit availability on the Timberline, the ST line, and the 21-inch aluminum wheel. Exhausted availability on the 18-inch 5-spoke sparkle silver painted alloy wheel. I think that's an XLT standard wheel, by the way. So I think it's a note there. So, but with only that many, probably all get scheduled without any problem. Moving on, 24 model year Expedition. Order banks are open up. There's currently 1,352 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Should be an issue there. Scheduling will resume, it says 11:30. Probably see that same note on Super Duty in a little bit because of the UAW ramping back up, or because of the UAW strike being over, then them ramping back up. Although Kentucky Truck Plant did not pass the agreement. They actually turned it down. But I don't know how that works. So it may be from all the factories all together, putting all the numbers together. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into that in this episode. But see, Platinum will require the optional 22-inch wheel. And by the way, there are a lot of people that have, there's 45% of the 1352 that have the Platinum standard wheel. They won't get scheduled. So if you're one of those people that has a Platinum order and you don't have the optional wheel, you need to go in and change that wheel or wait until they can they have that, because it does say they will require. It doesn't say exhausted, limited. It says require the optional wheel. So your order will not get scheduled if you have the standard wheel. And there's 45% of those orders. So we're talking close to 700 of those orders that have that standard wheel that will not get scheduled. Also, the limited 302A will require the sandstone trim as well. So if you're the 302A, you'll want to fix that on your orders as well. Moving on, 24 model year mach-e. Order banks are open up right now. For those, there was 48 2023 orders that did not get built. If you're one of those, you need to make sure you order that 24 model year order. Select and Premium is all we can order right now. California Route 1 is not available, and GT and the Rally is not available yet. So you want to make sure that you get that order in. No scheduling this week, though. They need more orders in there to be able to schedule. So, all right, moving on. 24 model year Super Duty. All right, there's currently, and I
Here's
do not.
a long one.
I know, and I was really hoping they had a graphic up, so I didn't have to go through all of them, but they didn't. If you guys can find one for me, find the right Facebook group or forum, that'd be great. There's currently 25,963 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up right now. Some of the numbers of some of the constraints I can tell you is King Ranch. 21% of the unscheduled orders are King Ranch. 27% are Platinum. 13% are limited. And I can tell you on all three of those numbers, the capacity is less than 10%. So in this situation, we probably do have a problem there. So I would be encouraged to maybe look at a Lariat, which is at 18%, which is well below their capacity. Trimmer package, 11% of those orders have the trimmer package. Not too bad. They should be fine. Might take a little longer. Here's another big one. 61% have the high output diesel engine. Everybody wants that diesel engine. Capacity on that's like in the 20s, I think. 25% have the regular diesel engine, which is within capacity easily. So now, again, we're talking over the whole year, right? Those numbers, you might be okay. It just might take most of the year to get your scheduled if you're one of those last few. All right. Scheduling. So let's go over the scheduling notes here. Scheduling production weeks at Kentucky Truck Plant will be for from 11/27 to 12/18. 24 model year job 1 balance out. It does say balance out for 12. I did say that last week, and somebody's like, "Is it balancing out?" I'm like, "It does say job 1." So maybe they are finishing out job 1, which would be really weird because they just started production. So it's really weird that job 1 would be balancing out this early, but it does say that. And it says no scheduling in Ohio, and that the 24 model year job 1 balance out will be 125. So maybe they are. Maybe they're going to move on to job 2 early. I don't know. Just reading what I have here. Limit availability on the F350, 450, and Lariat. Exhaustive availability on King Ranch and Platinum. We did see that, and I think they're kind of going off these percentages. Limited availability for the following features. Options, 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel engine and the 6.7 high output diesel engine. So it means they're looking for those 7.3 orders. So if you have one of those, you're looking good. Fuel tank that's available on the XL, XLT, and Lariat with the 6.7 diesel engine is limited. The 20-inch bright machine and painted polished aluminum that's standard on the F250, 350 single rotor Platinum. Of course, the frames, the HBK frame that is optional on the F350 two-wheel drive with the diesel engine and this 169-inch wheelbase. The GBK frame that's optional on the F350 two-wheel drive with the diesel engine and the 145-inch dually and single rear wheel wheelbase. The SEK frame that's optional on the F450, 550, 600 with the diesel and 169-inch dually. And then the 4x4 front axles that's available on the F450, 550, 600 with the 4.3 or 4.88 axle, the regular rear axle is limited. The low running frame PB that's available on the F450 and F550 with the 7.3 gas engine or all diesel engines with a 179-inch wheelbase and dual rear wheels. And then the 17-inch Argent painted steel wheel with the painted hub covers and all that good stuff that's standard on the XL, F250s and 350s is limited. That's not good. The 18-inch Argent painted steel wheels that's standard on the F350 single wheel regular cabs. It's optional on the F350 XL. So that's not boding well for the XLs because that's actually they've been able to produce a lot of those, but they're a little constraint there. Fifth wheel gooseneck hitch prep package. This is the one that gets the wiring in the holes in the bed, pre-drilled holes with the covers on them. That is also limited availability, and it has been most of the year. Heavy duty alternator that's standard on the XL gas. Does say to review the order guide and try to replace it with a different alternator. And the Ford Pro upfit integration system, which is optional on all pickups, supposed to be standard on some, is also constrained. Maybe they should have made it standard on some of those vehicles. And the 179-inch wheelbase fuel tank low sulfur also is limited availability. So there you go. All right. Moving on, 24 model year F-150. It is scheduling for the week of February 5th. 24 model year February production saying, note, Raptor 802A and 803A will not be selected for scheduling for the next several weeks. Make sure you have an 801A Raptor if you have an allocation as a dealer. And then F-150 801A SIM orders have been generated for scheduling this week. All right. And there's currently 4,484 unscheduled 2024 model year orders, and this is non-EV ones, non-BEV ones. And the order banks are open up right now. Speaking of that, no scheduling. Moving on to 24 model year F-150 Lightning. They are scheduling for the week of February 5th as well. Order banks are open up right now. And we did get our first stock Lightning XLTs in that we installed a new leather on. Can't wait to do a video on that and show you guys that. And it's going to be priced point very nicely. So if you're looking for an XLT, maybe you want leather, we got you covered. We got some coming in. And since they're standard heated seats, they'd be heated leather. And these leather seats, they look better than the Lariat, in my opinion. So I'll have to show you those next week, but pretty cool. 24 model year Transit. There's currently 7,033 unscheduled orders. Order banks are open up for the Transit. They are scheduling for production weeks January 1st and the week of January 8th. Exhaust availability. The high roof long passenger van is exhausted, and the low roof passenger van bus is also exhausted. Limited availability for the following options: 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine, the all cutaway and chassis cabs. I got all the body codes. There's a bunch of them. High roof extended passenger van, the medium roof passenger van, Transit trail package, AM/FM stereo with a 4-inch multi-function display, The 15 passenger seating and the 12 passenger seating are all limited availability as well. So, and that finishes out our scheduling for this week. There we go. Right when you cough. All right. Any questions on scheduling?
Let's see. So, Rich, you asked if you can address the negative press surrounding the report on inventory levels being too high and sales being off on the edge.
Well, Edge is sunsetting. It's ending. So, I mean,
They may be.
I don't know about inventory levels, but for us, I mean, we don't have that many, and we've actually sold quite a few. I mean, quite a few. For us, we've sold 3. So it's.
But if the inventory is high, they're probably trying to get more out because people that love the Edge are going to want to buy the last year.
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal. Your stock inventory is going to be high on all of your SUVs.
Yes.
Because they're not custom ordered like some of the other models. So
Yeah.
even your F-150, you're going to have some high inventory levels. But if it starts with an E, typically you can find it on the dealer lot. For the most part, we only have a couple Escapes, only have a couple Edges. We have several Expeditions. The members that do a lot walk with me, you can see what our numbers look like. But I mean, you know, they are going to be kind of high. Not necessarily that they're high, but they're where they used to be pre-COVID. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I look at the inventory we have now. That's about what it was before COVID hit. That's typical. That's where it should be. Sales is still there. I mean, we're still having really good sales volume. So I think it's more. I think there are some people out there, some YouTubers that are probably just trying to get views.
Yeah.
And hey, let's put a comment out there that's the inventories are high and sales are low, just to get views. And
they also might be in a truck heavy area or a car heavy area. Ford doesn't sell cars. Mm-hmm. You know, they might California or some of the warmer climates or some areas where a car may be better than an SUV. They may not be seeing the sales that we see or other dealerships see. And so they have a higher inventory.
Benefit to the customer now. So if inventory is high, sales are low, prices are going to come down.
Yes.
So this is primed for getting us back to having those lower prices under MSRP. If you look at our inventory right now,
F-150.
All of our F-150s are at least $6,000 off.
XLT is $8,000.
We have an Edge out there with $7,500 off right now. We have Escapes with money off, Explorers that are $5,000 off right now of MSRP, Expeditions $4 or $5,000.
Couple.
So with inventory levels being higher, we're going to be discounting those to move them. Now, look at the ones that are selling well, that inventories are low. Maverick, we do have some stock Mavericks. We're over MSRP.
Yeah.
But that is a vehicles. Now we keep, a lot of people are like, well, you're not selling them. Actually, the ones that we have on our website now are ones that weren't available last week. They're available this week. The ones that we had available last week sold. They're revolving. They're coming in and selling. Again, we sold 40. So we're selling the ones that customers are turning down. We're selling without any, really quickly. So again, so it just depends on that. But
and pre-COVID, every dealership had a lot like ours. We've been through COVID. We've had a more full lot than some of the other dealers,
because we took custom orders, other dealers didn't.
Mm-hmm. And that helped float us through COVID while other dealerships shut down because they had no inventory.
Yeah. So we are a dealer that has more inventory than most dealers.
Yeah.
Because our sales allocation and getting orders is based on your sales volume. And since we took orders during COVID, we sold vehicles when other dealers were not, because they said no customer is going to buy a vehicle without seeing it and driving it.
Yeah.
We proved that wrong. Ford says you're going to custom order if you want them because we're going to focus on those first. So there you go.
I mean, yeah, because and as we're recovering from COVID, we're seeing the used car market go down. We're seeing inventory go up in that. Same with new. We're getting more inventory. We're getting more vehicles. We're recovering. We're getting to the point where there's going to be more cars on the lot again. It doesn't mean we're closer to invoice and we're below on some vehicles.
And it
So-
doesn't mean, like I said, it doesn't mean, and I'm sure the person, the YouTuber's name starts with an S, because he likes to. I really feel like he likes to create controversy that may not be there. So
Rich
just because
View,
dealer inventories are high doesn't mean sales are low.
Rich View was talking about Edge Car, a YouTube channel with Ray and Zach, and they were talking about it as being doom and gloom.
Well, the Edge. So maybe they don't know that the Edge is ending.
Well, no,
Well,
their channel is Car Edge.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Edge.
So did I, but he corrected me with their
Oh,
YouTube
okay.
channel Car Edge.
Okay. Well,
in all vehicles, inventory is going up.
it's up to the dealers to manage their inventory. I mean, like I said, inventory levels aren't higher than it was pre-COVID. It's where it was, which is where we want it to be. And then dealers have to manage their prices.
It just seems different to the consumer because the consumer is used to seeing fewer vehicles on the lots, empty lots and such. And now it's going back up.
That's normal. I don't feel like it's high. I feel like it's normal. I mean,
maybe hitting a pre-COVID normal.
And I can only talk about that based on what ours looks like, but I can tell you that our inventory is not like overly high.
Yeah. So Rev Nation says the numbers from DMV data that I pull, sales are definitely down, but not catastrophic.
Yeah. Well,
which is usual for this time of year when people are gearing up for Christmas.
Now, we haven't seen the effects from the strike yet.
No.
But I can tell you, I think that sales were probably down because, for one, those employees that were on strike, they weren't buying cars while they were on strike. So you had people that probably would normally buy vehicles that weren't buying them. And they're probably even, I would even say that if there were people that were really being supportive of the union workers, they probably weren't buying cars either.
Yeah.
So could that be a problem? And could that have showed a lower number? I think we're fine. We're fine. I mean, we're seeing record numbers. Last month we sold more than almost any month. Any month this year that we sold. Part of that's because of Maverick, but the other vehicles too. I mean, we still sold a lot of F-150s. We're not seeing it. So, but we're also a dealership that also, like I say in the videos, we stay positive, right? And we don't, like when COVID hit, when things that 9/11 hit, we try to stay, we try to keep our guys positive and say, you know what, no matter what the market looks like, we're going to still go business as usual. And we're going to still sell cars. We're still going to buy cars. We're still going to stock cars. We're going to do things. The other dealers are going to be doom and gloom, and they're going to, freak out and do this. We're not going to, and they'll get us through. And that's why we do well. Anyway, when other dealers are struggling, we don't, because we stay positive. We keep going. We find creative ways of marketing and adjusting our prices accordingly. So we raised our prices a little bit a couple weeks ago. Because on the F-150, they took rebates away. That's how they went up, because the rebates got taken away. Mach-e, I don't know why Ford did it, but on the Job 2, they took the rebates away. They had rebates on Mach-e Job 2, and they took them away. That affected, so we adjust our prices accordingly for that too. But anyway,
so Kevin says, please elaborate on Ranger Raptor allocations or in any additional information.
So dealers earn Raptor allocations separately from their regular allocations, whether it be Ranger, Bronco, or F-150. And so, again, it's based on a formula. Sales volume has something to do with it, but also your sales of, like for Bronco, it would be based on not only Raptor sales for the other ones, but also your Bronco sales. Ranger, every dealer gets one to start with. We have not received any other numbers, and a lot of it's because the plant was down for 6 weeks. So we probably won't know that until close to the first of the year on how many more allocations. So there will be an allocation formula for the rest of 24 model year for the Ranger Raptor, but Ford has not disclosed that to dealers yet to know how many we're going to get. So at some point we'll get a number, but I know at the launch Job 1, every dealer gets one. And that's all they get. Ours is accounted. Somebody's already put in for ours, put a deposit on it, and it's ordered for them. So you'll have to find somebody that a dealership that no one has bought that one allocation they're getting. But then more allocations are supposed to be coming in the second part of production. We just don't know what that number looks like yet.
Yeah.
Some dealers will get 0, right? Some dealers, we don't sell a lot of Rangers, but we sell a lot of Raptors. So I assume we'll probably get 2, 3 would be my guess.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Our 24 Heritage Bronco and scheduling this week for January production.
That's what I mentioned, I think, right? 4-door. 4-door.
4-door.
Not 2-door.
Not
4-door.
2-door. 4-door.
Yeah. So priority scheduling this week only includes Raptor, 4-door Heritage Limited, 4-door Heritage, and Everglades. So that's going to be their priority. So
Okay.
I think we actually have somebody with an Everglades order. So they might be looking
Yeah.
nice.
How many allocations of the Super Duty F450 does Long McArthur typically get?
They don't separate 450 from the others. It's Super Duty in
All right.
general. So allocations this month, I think we're at 28. I can't remember. I'm actually pulling it up right now. See what the number looks like. Yeah, 28. I was right. Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
28, 70 F-150s. Ooh, that number changed. So we must have got some lightning ones. Nope, no lightnings. 0 lightnings allocations. That's bites. We got some orders. 70 F-150s. 20 Bronco. 20 Broncos. 1 Raptor. 19 Broncos. You got an order with us. We don't have that many Bronco orders. Yeah. You'll be happy, I think. So, all right. Anyway, back to it. Any other questions?
All right. Can we actually order a 2-door with a manual?
2-door Bronco?
Yes.
Depending on the configuration. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The manual isn't determined between 4-door or 2-door. So I know that, man, I can't even remember. I even did the videos on all of them. Most of them you can get. I know Big Ben, you cannot get a manual. The other trim levels you should be able to. I think Badlands is a weird one where you can only get it. Of course, you have to only can get it with a 2.3 as well. So don't forget that. But Badlands is one of those I think is manual. You can't get automatic 2.3 or something. I don't know, something like that. But
Okay.
Ragnarcon's in here. He'll answer that question.
Yeah. Aiden, you can give me a call. It's 785-823-2237, or look up Long McArthur and ask for me.
Yeah, and numbers for the dealership and address and everything are in the description. If you have any questions, by the way, just tag Sarah there. It's easier for her to see those, so we can highlight those and go over those questions too. All right. Should we move on to recalls?
Yep.
All right, we're going to do recalls next because there's going to be a lot for dealer news. And what's that? Got another one?
Sorry, Bob C.
What?
Accidentally put him in timeout.
See, I did that to Ragnarcon the other day during the member one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Better remember, bring your computer next time. The phone's a little bit different. Keep popping them up while I'm.
Well, okay, to star the comment, I have to hit the 3 buttons, which has the option star comment, put user in timeout, ban user, and delete their comments.
And then when somebody posts, it moves it.
Yes.
That's what happened to me.
Sorry, Bob.
All right, Bob, we'll get you back in. You're just in timeout just for a little bit. So write down all your questions, comments.
And then re-tag me.
Yes. She meant to highlight. She did the opposite. All right. Let's get into recalls here. All right. For recalls for this week, not too many. Actually, most of these are just updates. No, I don't think there are any new recalls here. And this first one is the Component Installation Program 22G01. This is supplement number 2, which supplement means that it's an update. Something's updated. Actually, there's a lot of updates to this one. This one has to do with the rear climate control modular retrofit on the 22 model year Explorers. And what the main thing on this one is that they added stuff for the police interceptors. They now are showing separately on the affected vehicles. So they put them in there separately so they can see which ones were affected by that. They also added some service actions. They updated the order letter mailing update. of when that's going to be updated, which I think they're going to send those out. Where is that? The week of November 27th. So coming up pretty soon. So for those of you who didn't know, some of the Explorers came without the climate controls on the back of the console because of part issues. And they said they could be retrofitted later. Well, it's later. So now we're going to be able to get those done. So they've updated a bunch of stuff for the service departments and parts, different things like that. But those are all updated. So this is number 2 because they added the police interceptor stuff separately. There's currently 112,844 vehicles that were built without the rear climate control switches in the back that are going to be able to get those retrofitted on. Oh boy, service departments will be busy with that. So basically they will get a new back panel with the climate controls. They'll take the other one off and put this on. There's more to it than that, but I don't work in service, so you guess it. Anyway, all right. The next one is also an update to a recall that's already been out. Customer Satisfaction Program 23B17. This is supplement number 1. This is for 22 model year Mustang GT500 and 23 F-150 Raptor R vehicles. This is the engine front cover and valve cover replacement. So on this one here, they've updated the claims preparation submission information and the codes there, and the parts information, oil and filter added to the parts list, and the technical instructions were added. So nothing else, vehicles affected, nothing like that. And if you remember, this is a recall where some of the affected vehicles may exhibit an engine front cover oil leak caused by excessive movement of the front crankshaft, front main seal, and a valve cover leak caused by a loose spark plug seal. And so they want to make sure that gets fixed. It does say letters should have already went out, and this is, again, just an update to the parts list for them. Affected vehicles is 2,155, and we did cover that a couple weeks, a while back. I think it was, when did we cover that originally? It actually has that. September 20th is when we covered that. Man, didn't seem like it was that long ago. Oh, well. All right. This next one is also a supplement update to the recall, and this is for a safety recall 19S38. So 19, usually it's the year the recall came out. So this is on, I almost didn't include this, but this is a supplement number 5 for certain 2015 to 2017 transit vehicles. Doesn't say how many vehicles are affected by this. It does the drive shaft flexible coupling. This one here, they added parts tables. Parts ordering can now be ordered through the normal ordering processing channels. They removed an interim repair from the technical instructions, added pickup and delivery information, mobile service repair, assessment level information, updated the sold vehicle information. And so some of that information there to help them get those taken care of. So letters went out back in 2020, but there you go. It doesn't list how many were affected by that one. There you go. All right, this other one is also supplement. So we have no new recalls this week, which is awesome. Great job, Ford. This in here is an update to emissions recall 23E07. This is supplement number 1 for certain 2022 to 2023 model year Maverick vehicles equipped with the full hybrid electric vehicle. This is the powertrain control modular, the PCM, in various modulars, the software calibration update. So in this update, they did revise the mailing schedule. So the letters are supposed to go out the week of December 4th to owners. They did update the technical information, the mobile service repair assessment information, and the VIN list activation for dealers, so the service departments know, and the owner refunds as well. So they updated information on that. So they have TSBs in here for this. So for those of you who don't know, in some of the affected vehicles, the heating element that warms up the heated exhaust gas oxygen, they have an acronym for this, HEGO, HEGO is what I like to say, sensor is not operating as intended. That heating element must be enabled for that sensor to accurately measure exhaust gas oxygen content during engine warm-up and optimal control emissions. So there you go. So letters are going out soon, but since they have the information, you should be able to go in and get this fixed if you are on there. And these are vehicles, if you have a 2022 model year that was built between March 11th of 21 through November 23rd of 22, or a 23 model year built between June 21st of 22 through January 11th of 23. There's 10,487 vehicles affected by that recall. So I think that's it for those. All right. Any questions on those? And no, I don't have, like, if you ask about other recalls, I've gone over other recalls in past months, past weeks, and I cover a lot of different ones. I keep copies of all of them. So if you have a recall number, I could look it up, and see any updates and all that. But I only give you updates that have happened within the last week on our Ford memos. Though I can't go back and do some of those others. But anyway, there you go. You can always Google it on there, and you can usually find it.
All right. Barry says, are all the recalls done before you deliver a new truck?
We're not allowed to deliver them if there's a hold on them. Yeah. So a lot of times, depending on the recall, some of those, if some of those are safety recalls, they won't let us deliver them. There is a demonstrate and delivery hold on them. So yeah, even if yours is in that window, a lot of times, like, people are like, oh no, mine was built in that window. Just because it was built in that window doesn't mean it was affected. So I had a recall done on my Bronco today. So on the wiper motor thing.
Oh, that's why the Bronco's here.
Yeah. Well, can't I just drive it whenever I want to?
Mostly you drive the Maverick anymore.
I am messing with the suspension on that, so it's kind of cool. So I went up to 7, and I was like, oh wow, I can feel every bump. So it's like boom. It's like you can hear it boom, boom. I was like, okay, I'll adjust that back down. I might even go back down to 5, give it a little more cushion. But
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
I was actually thinking about it today. I hadn't seen it really up close because I didn't go over and look at it while it was sitting out there after getting the work done. And I was like, man, not just the modular bumper plus the lifted suspension really makes it more beastly.
Yeah.
It really beefed it up. Looks really good.
Yeah. I actually had tagged Ford, and I said, you need to allow us in the Ford Pass app to upload a picture of our real vehicle and not the stock one. Because I'll pull the Ford Pass app up and go, well, that's what it used to look like when I ordered it 2 years ago. Does not look like that now. So
that would be nice.
And the Maverick too. I've added so many things to the Maverick. I'm like,
especially if people are adding wraps. They're letting people put wraps on their Fords now. Make that an option. Change the color. Add this, or just upload a new picture.
And by the way, if you're seeing people that are posting videos on that, hopefully you watch my video on the wrap, because Ford's making out to be, hey, this is happening. You can get wraps now if you are in one of 4 states across the country.
And I've noticed in a lot of videos, they're saying it's coming from factory, which is incorrect. It's going to your dealer and then going to the wrap specialist.
The certified wrap companies, which usually aren't the dealers, but we work
closely with a graphics company.
Yes. So we work real closely with a local graphics company that they'll probably get certified to do those. But yeah, so start with 4 states, and they said 6 or a year later they'll do 12 states. It's going to be a while before it's going to
7 and then 14 and then all 50 in the third.
I saw something in the Maverick or the mach-e forum, and it says now you can get a wrap for your 24 mach-e. I'm like, if you're in one of 4 states, yes.
Yeah.
But also you can actually, if you have a certain color you want, most wrap companies, they may not be one of Ford's certified wrap companies, but they can get it done for you. So anyway, like, we can do them. So we got a new member.
Yes.
Pop that on there.
I forgot to pull that up here. Speedy's World has joined us as a member.
And he's been watching the videos for a while, so that's good.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a member. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to send your information. And those of you that haven't, that been members, maybe didn't realize, you got to send us your information, your address, and all that. And we got a little welcome packet for you. So, all right. We're going to get into some dealer news. And I got a lot of stuff to cover here, but it'll be a lot of fun. So if you guys, you want to throw that off of there. All right, good.
There you go.
All right. So we're going to get into some dealer news updates here. All right. Got a lot of things to cover here. First one I want to cover is on the the last week I mentioned what order guides were updated and didn't cover too much. Well, let's cover a couple of them here. One of them is on the 24 model year Bronco. The order guide was updated on the 31st of last month. And here are some of the order. Actually, some of these will actually list what was updated. So here's what was added to this last update. They added the optional 4.46 drive ratio with the open front differential and rear locking differential on manual transmissions for the Big Bend series. That was added to the order guide. So maybe you can get manual on the Big Bend. I was thinking you could only get automatic for some reason. Oh, maybe it's just you can't get the 2.7. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, I got a lot of content coming in here, folks. I can't remember it all. Also, they added the optional 17-inch dark carbonized gray alloy painted beadlock capable forged wheels on Raptor series. So that optional wheel, they added that onto the order guide. They added the optional analog rear view camera option 50B on the Big Bend series. Not sure why you go with it, but they added it anyway. And then they changed blue with black onyx leather trimmed vinyl seats NP trim code are not available with the shelter green when the Raptor code orange appearance package is selected on the Raptor series. There you go. That makes me question whether or not we can add the code orange appearance package. A couple things we've got to check out on the when we order and see if they're available. Still waiting for the Ranger 2.7. All right. And then this in here is the 24 model year Mustang order guide was updated. We have job 2 now. So on 11.8, they did update the order guide for job 2 changes. And here are some of those updates. They added floor mats, first row, black with City Silver Pony logo to the 100A, 101A, 200A, 201A equipment groups. They also added floor mats front row black with City Silver GT logo to the 300A, 301A, 400A, and 401A. And then they added the stop start system to the GT and GT Premium. Then they also revised the tire inflator and sealant kit standard on GT and GT Premium. So they changed the wording on that, evidently. Revised mini spare wheel and tire optional on the GT Premium. And they revised and added revised 18-inch by 8-inch machine face aluminum with high gloss ebony black painted pocket wheel standard on EcoBoost. So they probably just changed, when they say revise, they probably revised the wording on some of that for some reason. And then they also added the California special package to the 400A and 401A. So we're going to talk about that package and what's included right now. So as soon as I find the pictures, I have photos for this. So if you're watching, again, listen to the podcast, you got to check out the images on this. So there you go. All right, we'll slide through these images as we go through this. But the California special is returned to the Mustang, and you can see I like it. If you don't like blue, you probably won't like it, but I like it because I like blue. Anyway, this package here is gonna does require 400A or 401A, so it does require the GT Premium available in convertible or the coupe. It does give you the carbonized gray. I'm just gonna go through the list here. It does get you the carbonized gray with the Rave blue pad printed logo for the certain tires. So we do have that. So let me run through some of these. Let me just go. You know what? Forget this order guide. Let me just go through it here. So you can see the blue nostrils are highlighted here. You can also see the dedicated grille for this as well. That's been updated, so it looks really sweet. On the side, you'll see your emblems. I actually have some close-ups of that here in a little bit. Your wheels have been updated as well. You get the nice graphics across the side here that's been updated. I don't exactly have all the colors. I actually probably should do a separate video on this. I'll probably do a separate video on this to go over that because show you the colors it's available on. But you can see the graphics coming across, the wheels, the back, the GT is highlighted in the blue as well. They call it Rave blue is what they're calling that there. So you have that all upgraded California special badging and everything. Pretty cool. Let's see. Even the headlamps have black bezels in them. I didn't highlight that. There we go. So you kind of see what that looks like on the side. Pretty cool. They can look good. Some colors, some of the blues. It's available in some blues, but some of them. I do like the interior upgrades. So you do see that on the steering wheel. So nice blue stitching. Rave blue is what they call that, or blue. Yeah, rave blue. Stitching in there in the steering wheel, two-tone on the steering wheel itself. You see the stitching across the dash as well. And the emblems, we'll get some close-ups of those emblems. There's that stitching on the steering wheel and such. And then you can see it even on the console. You can see those floor mats in the distance back there with special floor mats. You're starting to see the seats. Now, these are a black seat, but with the perforations will be colored. So that'll be fun for photographs. We'll get those in. And then you can see those seats. Actually, no, they are blue. Blue tint, black trimmed there. Pretty cool. I like the look of those too. A little bit different color of the interior on all the trim and everything than the exterior. Now the stitching looks like it's the brighter blue. So maybe something getting used to there, but you can kind of see what that stitching looks like. And there's your California special badge on the dash. So it looks pretty cool. And I think we got some, there's a door trim. So the GT Premium requires an interior trim package. And so you'd get this one and then check that out. Doesn't that look cool? And if you wondered what that cutout is right there, there's a light that comes in through there. And so that's why it has that opening for a LED light to come in when you approach the vehicle, which is pretty cool. And then darkened bezel there. And I think I got one of the wheel close up. There's the badging. Ooh, see? And that has a cool badging. And then look at the graphics. You can see the close up. You can actually see the California Special micro etched in there. So it's kind of a matte finish with a high gloss for the California Special. I like that. That's kind of cool. They've been doing that on some other vehicles. There's a close up of those wheels. All right. There you go. It's all of those images. So that's pretty cool. So, all right. Anyway, so that's that. That is available to order now. So you can order that if you want. No constraints or anything. So they didn't mention it anyway. All right. Next one I want to talk about is the Expedition Platinum. We've been talking about this for a while of how the multi-contoured seat needed that removal option to be scheduled. Well, now they're reintroducing the multi-contoured seat back in there. So great news for a lot of people that have been wanting that, and maybe the orders have not been looked at, or maybe they even got scheduled already, and now you're going to be able to get yours. So Ford is lifting the stop build on the multi-contoured seat massaging seat for 24 model year Expedition Platinum, beginning as early as the build week of December 4th, pending supplier support ability. Ford will spec change affected scheduled and unscheduled stock orders to include the multi-contoured seat. So the dealer shouldn't have to do that. Retail orders will require the customers to modify their orders to remove the multi-contoured seat removal option. So that is option 88R. You'll want to remove that from your retail orders if the customer wants their vehicle built with the multi-contoured seats. So it does at this point. If you have one already scheduled, then if you don't want the multi-contoured seat, you can leave that option on there. All orders built between now and then will continue to be built with the multi-contoured seat removal because they don't have the support yet for the supply. It says new orders submitted will include multi-contoured seats as standard content and will no longer be able to add the multi-contoured seat removal. So don't forget, again, the customers need to go in there and ask to have it done. And here's what's we've had some people that say you can't make changes to your order once they're scheduled. Well, here's proof fact right now that you can, because it says in here, inform customers that they are encouraged to modify their 24 model year Expedition Platinum retail orders to remove the multi-contoured seat removal feature. If they wish their vehicles be built with the multi-contoured seats, this is particularly urgent for customers whose orders have already been scheduled for production in December. So it's even saying you can go in and modify those scheduled orders. So that is proof from Ford saying that you can make those changes to scheduled orders. Plus, we've done it, so we know. All right. This next one is on Bronco. Some of you have been waiting for this. So this is news that just came out. In fact, I almost missed it. because I have a lot of meetings in Tuesday afternoons, and so sometimes I don't always look and see what's come out in the afternoon on Tuesday. But I did catch this, so we do have an update for the Bronco. So it does say 23 model year Heritage Edition and Heritage Limited Edition 2-door order cancellations. So unfortunately, Ford will be canceling some 2-door Heritage and Heritage Limited orders that already have a VIN and been scheduled. So luckily, they're not canceling any of the other orders. It doesn't look like, but just these orders here. So they here's a note that says, unfortunately, the 23 model year Bronco Heritage and Bronco Heritage Limited Edition 2-door orders were canceled due to the combination of the UAW strike, supplier issues, and balance out timing. It says, we will be providing a model year transition offer for impacted customers that have a CLVP approved replacement 24 model year order submitted using the same order number. Note that same order number as their 23 canceled order by Friday, December 1st. So you have to have the order submitted by December 1st. I have to do a separate video on this because we need to make sure everybody knows about this. So if you had a 23 model year Heritage or Heritage Limited 2-door order that had a VIN number and it gets canceled, your dealer will know we had one. We've already talked to that customer. They've been taken care of. And they need to be resubmitted. You have to submit their order as a 24. And yes, that does mean order banks are now open up for the 2-door Heritage and Heritage Limited orders. We won't do a Heritage Limited because we got ours. Every dealer gets one between 2 model years. So Heritage Edition, though, that's what we really want to talk about here. You only need to make sure it has the exact same order number as your 23 order had. So you need to make sure you have that. Look in CLVP if you don't know what that is, because they did cancel the orders. But luckily, the dealership gets a copy that tells them what their order number was. So they know what that is, so they can make sure it's the same order number. Not only that, but they have to be submitted in by December 1st, and CLVP has to be done as well. Don't forget to do the CLVP approval. That has to be done. So I'm stressing this because it's very important. There are going to be some people, I can already tell it's going to happen, where they didn't get that order submitted for 24. They thought it was just going to roll over. It's not going to happen that way. It has to be submitted as a 24 model year order, and it has to be the same order number, and you have to CLVP. 3 different things you have to do. Make sure you do that. So the private offer amount for the Heritage Editions will be $4,250. I don't have a program number yet, and the Heritage Limited Edition will be $3,090. It did say that the Heritage Limited Edition orders would have to be put in stock orders for those. Again, using the same order number. Also, on top of that, in addition to the model year transition offer outlined above, impacted customers will also receive a complimentary guest pass in addition to their own to attend a 1-day Bronco off-road experience at one of the 4 locations nationwide. These passes are valued at $595 per person. I know that for a fact, plus taxes and fees. Yeah, they added those taxes and fees on mine. Anyway, so there you go. So you can, order banks are open up now for the Heritage Edition 2-door, which has been closed for a while. So you want to make sure. So again, I already went through the steps, but step 1, retail order bank update, 24 model year Bronco 2-door Heritage and Heritage Limited Edition retail order banks are now open. Step 2, 24 model year replacement order submission. You need to submit it by December 1st and has to be CLVP approved by December 1st. I wouldn't wait on this. You got 2 weeks. We're getting caught up on time here. Ensure accurate customer information as it will be used to generate the customer certificates. So there you go. I think that's it. All right. Hopefully we don't have any questions. I think I covered that pretty well. A couple other ones. Another update that we got was on the Blue Oval Charge Network enrollment period. So if you didn't know this, Ford has the Blue Oval Charge Network using the app. And before that was you got a 3-year trial period. And after 3 years, you had to pay. Well, they've changed that. It's no longer going to have a trial period. You do not have to worry about it. So instead, all Ford EV owners will have access to the Blue Oval Charge Network profile payment capabilities no matter when they bought their vehicle with no annual fee. Customers will be given access to, but are not required to accept the new Blue Oval Charge Network terms and conditions, as Ford is not reducing coverage. The change is an overall benefit. So there you go. It does say if you don't use it in 24 months, they will take away that account, but you can reactivate it at any time. So you can re-enroll. So by the way, in case you didn't know, as of October of 2023, the following charge point operators are in the Blue Oval Charge Network: Electrified America, Shell Recharge, EV Go, ChargePoint, EV Connect, Flow, Blink, Francis Energy, and Electric Circuit. Plus, more networks are coming soon, including the Tesla Superchargers in spring of 24. Don't forget, when we get that spring, that doesn't mean March. That means anytime after the first day of spring and before the first day of summer. It could even be June. And they'll say they successfully did that. So there you go. So now that's free. So, which is pretty cool. I'm actually going to do a video on how to charge using the app and such at those chargers, because I didn't even realize before the intensive we went to that I thought it was only Electrified America. So it's pretty cool they've added ChargePoint, because so I'll show, we have an EV Connect in Abilene, so we might have to, actually we got Electrified America. Electrified Americas are easy, because I remember when we had the Lightning, we just went and just plugged in Electrified America, didn't have to do anything in the app or anything. So we might try ChargePoint just so we can see what it looks like. Anyway, we're going to do a video on that, because we want to be able to show our customers and give them information on how to charge easily. So, all right. This next one is on the Clean Vehicle Credit Advanced Payment IRS regulation is now available for January 1st of 2024 launch. So beginning on January 1st, 2024, buyers of qualified electric vehicles will be able to transfer Section 30D clean vehicle credits to dealers at the time of sale in return for a payment in cash or in the form of a down payment equal to the full tax credit amount. Dealers will be reimbursed for this payment by the IRS, which is expected within 3 days of the sale. To participate in this program, though, a dealer will first need to register to become an eligible entity that can participate in the advanced payment program. So dealers have to enroll in this. So you might double check, because if you're wanting to do this, your dealer might not enroll in this. So they have to enroll. And the second part of that is the dealers and sellers of the qualified electric vehicles can now register their businesses through the new IRS online portal. The 2 registration processes are available. So first, you have to register as a dealer with the ability to do this. And the second part of that is to register to participate in the advanced payment program as well for credit transfers beginning January 1. So you have until then. It says registration will be administered through the IRS Energy Credits Online, the new IRS website that launched on November 1st. So it is launched. So we'll have to actually make sure. I might need to. These are 2 things I need to put off to the side, because make sure we do these. All right. There you go. Now, the rest of these things, I got a couple of other things I want to cover. Do have some images to this and such. And there's links there isn't links in the description yet. There will be later. I'll pop it in there. I'll get links. I forgot to do that. I'll throw them in there here in just a second. When we get to questions, I'll throw it in there. I'll put links in the description for these articles because they're pretty cool. A couple of different things here. This first one here is for if you guys got a chance to see the video, the Supervan, Ford Supervan 4.2 versus the Pikes Peak. And we did go up Pikes Peak, and so it was really fun to see this. All right, get those going.
We talked about that Friday, right?
We did Friday, but we didn't talk it to everybody else. That was just our members.
That's right.
All right, so this is the Supervan. So Ford says they wanted to see if they could have the fastest and break the record for the fastest time up Pikes Peak. There's a Pikes Peak race to the top. They call it the race to the clouds is what they call it. 12.5 miles of twisting mountain roads. I think they said 150 something, 57 curves or something and turns. The menacing and corners like Bottomless Pit, Raging Edge, and Devil's Playground. So they decided they wanted to compete in this. They wanted to break the record, but not with just any vehicle, but with a van. Really, with a van. So like some of the vehicles that were like in the several places, they were all like, Formula One cars and everything else. So I guess they wanted to win and have the fastest record in a, I think they said, was it stock or was it a certain open class? That's what it was, the open class. And so
it's like, that's not stock.
Yeah. So they did it with a van. So it's this Supervan, you can see that. But this is version 4.2 because they had a version 4.0 that they had. When did they do that? That was in 20. It was the Goodwood Festival of Speed 2022, but they did some things to this one. The 880-pound weight reduction, supercharged. They have 3 electric motors in this thing. Wow. And then, of course, they changed the aerodynamics to redesign it to create 2 tons of downforce at approximately 150 miles per hour so it could corner and get a world-class driver. So it was Roman Dumas. Anyway, they have a video on this. It's about an 18-minute video, but it was very entertaining. I watched the video, but here's some of the pictures of the van. So, by the way,
you can see through.
You can see through. Here's some images of the back. So there you go. So they added these wings right here, these dual wings. They added that to this 4.2 version.
Is it really a van if it can't hold more than one passenger?
Well, they are custom vans. And they're saying transit, not transit connect.
Again, is it really a van if it doesn't hold more than one?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of cool. You can kind of see some of the things they did and added and tested it and everything else. So pretty cool.
Wasn't there an interior shot?
There was this one and another one.
Okay.
Anyway, so there you go. Cool. And yes, they did break the record. And then but they got second overall. But they got first in the open class. They did set the record for open class, but there was like a Formula One car that got first and beat them by just a few seconds. They were actually disappointed because their ultimate goal was to go under 9 minutes, and they did. It was like 8:47 in some odd seconds.
They aren't trying to go around each other on these turns.
No,
right?
They get one at a time. You got to go up.
One at a time, and it's a timed race.
Yes, it's timed. Yes.
Well, I mean, most races are timed, but they aren't trying to beat each other to the finish line all at once. It's just a timed race.
Yep. All right, the next one. I only have one image of this one. If I can find it. Oh, I'll close this one first. All right, this next one.
That's a pretty picture.
Ford is returning to the Baja 1000. And I was going to look up. I forgot to look. You guys can tell me. When's it start? I don't know. It should start pretty soon. But they have a dual desert assault featuring Bronco Raptor and the F-150 Raptor R for the Baja 1000. So they're going to be competing in the stock class. So not a lot of modifications to these. So these are going to be stock Broncos and Bronco Raptors and F-150 Raptor Rs. So they'll have 2 entries, they said, in the stock classes. The Raptor will be in the mid-size, and then the Raptor, or the F-150 Raptor, will be in the stock full. 1,200 miles of driving distance, so I guess there's different. They're going to be in the Sportsman route. That's just under 1,200 miles. And the Raptor includes this is the 2024 Raptor, by the way. The one I saw at Detroit. So this then will have the new Fox dual live valve shocks modified with some custom interval valving and race tailored front and rear coil springs designed to tackle the Baja Mexico's challenging terrain. And they also said, with the exception of a slight modification to the intake system, the powerful combination is one offered to customers in production models. So this is the 700 horsepower, 5.2 liter supercharged V8 that they'll have in the F-150 Raptor R. Now, the Bronco Raptor, 2024 Bronco Raptor as well, that uses the modified Fox Live valve shocks with the custom interval valves designed for the Baja 1000 and paired with the bone stock front and rear springs, coil springs. Those are stock. And then, of course, it features the 418 horsepower, 3.0 liter EcoBoost engine and 10-speed automatic transmission. So it does say that both Raptors vehicles also have custom front and rear bumpers, plus all required safety equipment, including the safety cage and fuel cells, as well as upgraded LED lights. So high intensity LED lights for night running, and then also custom method wheels for both trucks. So there you go. So we'll be watching that. That's coming up. What, last year they did I think that they used the Ranger Raptor, I thought, last year. Anyway, there you go. So we'll see how they do on that. So that's all that. Any questions about any of that stuff?
No.
Yeah, I'll throw in those links here in a second. We'll get to Q&A to those, so you can see the media releases from Ford as well as the video link to the YouTube video for the Supervan 4.2, which was pretty entertaining. All right. No questions on that?
Nope.
All right. For Is It True? I was debating on this, so I think we're going to talk a little bit about. So Ford has about 5 models. They're going to get redesigned, refreshed for 25 model year. So we're talking 5. So we're talking the Bronco Sport, the Bronco, the Expedition, the Explorer, and the Maverick are all getting updates in 25 model year.
Really?
Plus, we could possibly get 2 new EVs. A third row EV and the T3 truck revealed to us in 25. Now, we'll see them in 25 model year. Probably not. But we got a lot of things coming. So we're going to see a lot of spy photos coming up here real soon. And so let me actually show you. Actually, a couple came out this week, including the Bronco Sport. So let's look at the Bronco Sport one here first.
You got to be mindful that sometimes they're letting these things be seen to throw you off.
Yeah. So this in here, I think even Ford Authority had mentioned something about a Bronco Sport Raptor version. I'm not going to comment because I've actually seen and know what they're going for there, and I can't say anything. But we'll just talk about these spy photos.
It's interesting how they covered it up.
Yeah. So anyway, it does. A lot of people said it looks like it's higher. Up a little bit. So they do mask up the grill. So it looks like they're probably going to be changing the grill and bumpers.
Probably the hood.
Here. One of the things you'll note, check out that. Don't currently have a 360-degree camera on the Bronco Sport now. We do see cameras on the mirrors. There's also a camera right there being exposed. So we will have that. The wheels, it looks like all the wheels they putting on these are just like some matte finish black wheels. So anyway, so I don't know if that'll be a new wheel offered or not, but I do like the look of it. And in the back, so it doesn't look like, they're going to change much of the roof line and everything of the doors, but it looks like the front and back they're going to redo,
which is typical.
Yeah. So it does have showing dual exhaust here. So anyway, so there you go. Yeah. I don't know. So we'll get more. We'll start seeing some of that rolling out. So in the near future, you'll start seeing that. So just something to point out there. They actually did post some stuff for Maverick as well. So here's the Maverick. So yeah. So we're going to see what I think they're actually, in this article, Ford Authority was talking about a lowered version, an ST version. Can't confirm or deny either of those. Confirm, whatever they call that. Anyway, but you can see on this one too, front camera, side cameras. So we got a 360-degree camera coming to the Maverick as well in the future, we think.
Which is what is needed.
Well, what's funny here is, so they covered the front and the hood and everything. So we got, it looks like it does have a little bit different design on the hood. And the fenders, maybe they're going to have fender flares. I don't know. I do know that there's somebody working with them that we partner with. Can't talk about that either. And redesigning something for the bumpers. So that's all I can say.
Probably think ORV.
Huh?
The ORV packages.
I don't think so.
Well, no, not those exact packages, but Ford has partnered with some people some brands for the ORV products.
Yeah. Also, you'll notice they tape up the bed rails. So I'm thinking body colored bed rails here. So anyway, which can be done. Thought about doing that on mine. Also, though, I thought, check this out on the side. So
are those?
They look silver. I don't know if they're silver painted. They're not masked up, or they look like this, but they look silver
you think
painted.
They just did that to just put them on?
I don't know. Maybe they had some extra silver handles. I don't know that they just put on. But anyway, and then I think there's the last on the back of it. So they're front and back going to be upgraded and changed a little bit. This doesn't look like a lowered one, by the way. They mentioned it being an ST version, but I think they were just saying that they're saying that they've been seeing some tests that have been lowered. Anyway, but anyway, there you go. Let's see what else I have here. Explorer. So they say Explorer Unmasked. I don't think that's a 25 Explorer though.
That looks like a 24.
Yeah, that looks like a 24 to me. But 25 will look a little different as well. But there you go. Anyway, so we'll start seeing some things around. Not really an is it true or not, but just more of keep your eye open for some of that stuff. Oh, and there's some Expedition ones. I got to show you the Expedition ones first before we get done. I forgot about that one. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
Oh, that's a full body.
All right, yeah, Expedition. It's a full body, and I've seen this too. And let me say, it's looking awesome. I really feel like the Expedition is probably going to be one of the best updates. Yeah, it'll be cool. Your mom's getting a 25.
What does she have now? A 22?
Yeah, let's be about right. Every 3 years or so. And right now I'm timing it about right. So every time they come with an update or a new version, next gen, it's about timing. Anyway, so yeah, they're covering up the grill and everything. This looks like it's a Timberline edition. If you look at that, and you look at the wheels, the tires, the skid plate underneath, that looks like a Timberline version there. But yeah, they're even masking that up there. They're changing. It looks like to me they're really changing a lot about this.
Well, they did a complete redo on the Super Duty, didn't they?
Even your roof rack rails, they've wrapped them. They're like, we're not showing you anything.
Do you think they're going away from what the Navigator looks like?
I can't tell you. No. The Navigator will probably change too.
You think?
Yeah. But really, I mean, check out. The bumper, they didn't they left this in.
It's like, here's what we're going to change.
They left it. I think these are two different photos. But this liftgate, they're doing something different here on the liftgate. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see as we see more of those shots get out. Oh, then there's some interior that they have. Not really can see anything because they even covered up the steering wheel. They're like, nope, you're not seeing anything. So
imagine to be one of those that's driving that to get all those stairs.
Although you will see the screen doesn't stick up like a 15-inch screen. But anyway, so there you go.
Did they just move it down and move?
I can't say. I can't say.
Again, I know nothing of what he knows.
No, and I can't describe it. I'm like, I really wish I was an artist.
Yeah. He has told me nothing from anything that he knows. So all of my speculation could be on point, but I don't know because I don't know.
And I haven't seen any spy photos of the 25 Bronco yet, but we do know it's getting a new trim, a luxury trim. That's actually, I can say that because that's actually, Ford has actually mentioned that in a speech. So
a two-row Expedition can be done. You just take the back seats out.
Two-row? Oh, that's the STX.
A two-row? Well, they're saying a two-row Timberline. Just take the third row out.
Oh, just fold the seats down. Ours are folded down most of the time anyway. So,
Yeah.
Right? We fold
Well,
ours down all the time. Put the wagon in there and
half
everything
of
else
it.
in there.
Half of it, because you still have Will's car seat back there.
Oh, yeah, right now.
She only folds
Anyway.
half of it down.
All right. So that's the thing. So you just fold the seats down, and then that way you have it if you need it. All right. Next, what's on my mind? All right, we're going to talk. We got more graphics. Again, if you listen to the podcast, you gotta come watch the live stream, because we're going to talk about some other stuff in this about private offers. So, was mainly this week was going to be mainly just talking about the Maverick private offers, because we know Maverick they're getting private offers. Not many of the vehicles are getting a private offer, because they said, hey, if it doesn't schedule, do a new one, you start over. We're not giving private offers, but they ended up doing it on Maverick. We actually had some customers that canceled thinking they weren't going to get a private offer, and then they got the email, got a private offer. Nope, I want to go ahead and order it for 24, and we're struggling to get those private offers on a couple because of that. Now we're talking Bronco, because the Bronco 2-door Heritage are getting private offers too. So let's talk a little bit about what a private offer is and how you would make sure you get yours and that kind of thing. So let's do this. So that way we're still on the screen.
Private offers.
All right. So first of all, we covered this a couple weeks ago when we talked about price protection and such. And one of the aspects of price protection was a model year transition offer. So let me just read through this. Private offers for those who had a CVP verified order that went unscheduled or canceled within the current model year. So in Bronco Heritage 2-doors, we'd be talking about they got canceled. These offers do not protect price, but rather assist in transitioning customers to the new model year. Offers will vary based on product refresh cycle. So again, don't forget that we're not price protecting the price from 23. You're going to get the 24 price, but you're going to get a private offer to hopefully make up the difference of some of the price increase. And that's Ford's goal here. They will not price protect from one model year to the next, only within the model year. Lease and retail customer order must be CVP verified to qualify. All model year transition offers are unique to the individual nameplate. And we're talking like the model. Offers are based on price changes and do not take into effect incentive changes. So those are separate from this. And we're talking about like special rates or something like that. Rates aren't carried over either. The offers are loaded into Smart Vincent, and dealers can find them via the certificate inquiry screen. The model year transition private offer is paid via Smart Vincent. So this is not something where they would just lower the price on your vehicle. They actually is an offer number, certificate number that's applied to yours. So let me show you some examples of this. So here is the Maverick. So again, we know that the Bronco 2-door is $4,250. Is that what the amount was?
Yeah.
For Heritage editions. If on Heritage Limited Edition, again, those are for the dealers, and the dealer sells them to customers. And that one was $3,090, I believe. But on the Maverick, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me try to zoom that in. There you go. For Maverick, here is the private offer. So if you had a 23 model year, and the first time you ordered a Maverick was 23 model year, and it did not get scheduled for production, and you had to put in a 24, here are your private offer amounts. If you have an EcoBoost, XL and Lariat are getting $1,000. XLT EcoBoost gets $1,900. Hybrid XL and Hybrid will get $2,500, and a hybrid XLT gets $3,400. So that's how much you're going to get in a private offer. Now, if you happen to be one of the people that had a 22 model year and went unscheduled to 23 and then still went unscheduled, and you had to order 24, not only will you get these offers, but you'll also get one of these. So if your 22 order was a EcoBoost, then you'll get the 1750. If it was hybrid, you'll get 2750. They'll be combined together. So anyway, it says in here too, see, program 172 has been created to replace 38,560. So originally there was an offer amount for 22 to 23, and that was replaced with this one. So those are the offer numbers you're going to get. So those are the private offers going on right now. And so when they say you're going to find that in Smart Vincent, this is the screen that dealers will find that. This is a certificate inquiry screen. And actually, I went through a bunch of our orders. Did I tell you that
No.
on Sunday? So I went through almost everybody that's already been scheduled for production date, because I knew if I didn't, I'm going to have 150 more to do. Because all of ours so far have been carryover orders. So I went through this, and I actually did this on a lot of them. And like, here's a situation where I put in my zip code and my name, and it actually pulled up. Now, in some situations, that may not pull. If the dealer misspells your name or maybe put in the wrong zip code, then it wouldn't show. It would be blank down there. It'd say no certificates. But you have some other options. Right here, you have phone number they can put in or email address. And I found for the most times I put the email address in, it was accurate.
Yeah.
So if you get the emails from Ford, give the dealer that email address.
Yes.
Because that would be the right email address for them to pull that. And then they just search for it and they would come up. And as you can see down here, I had these are different offers. These aren't the transition offers because I didn't order one that didn't get transferred over. But this is an example of where I actually have an order bonus certificate, because this is when we ordered the expedition.
Yeah.
So I got an extra $1,000. So this is certificate number and that. Now you'll also see an expiration date. And so you don't freak out if you see it expires by January 3rd or January 2nd, and you're like, what if my vehicle doesn't come in by then? These private offers will not expire until the end of the model year, until they're done with balance out. They will not, but they go on a monthly basis, or a quarterly basis. So they have to give it an end date. They can't just leave it open. So what they'll do is they'll give it at the end of the quarter. So in this case, for right now, all the dates are probably January 2nd or 1st, because that is the end of this quarter.
Yeah.
But then once those goes past that, when we get to January 3rd or 4th, they'll refresh and they'll have a date in April, if that makes sense. So don't worry about that. Don't forget about that. So that's how that'll work. Any other
Now,
screens?
I will say, I personally do not look up certificates very often. I've done it maybe once before. I was asked, there was an email, someone asked if I could look up an ICI offer. I'm like, you know what? I've done this once before. Let me see if I can do this. I know it's under contests and incentives. I know it's Smart Vincent. So I was going through, and at first I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, I got to ask how to do this. I figured it out. So if you know.
I don't want to tell people that. They're going to call you now. They're going to call you now.
I don't mind. Anyways, at least I'm helping people.
That's right.
That's what I'm all about, is helping people, making sure that they get the information they need. But I was just like, if I can find this, anyone can. Just mess around long enough, you're gonna find it.
Yeah. So this other screen I was going to show, I had in here. This is actually when we talked about the model year private offers, but this is where for dealers, now Maverick didn't have any special offers at the beginning of 24 model year, but if they had like a low interest rate or something when you ordered, you would select the sale date and you would see those incentives based on when you ordered. Protect date would be when you ordered. Sale date would be today's date. So you can look and see, they can look and see which was the best. So that's what that screen was all about right there. So anyway, hopefully that makes some sense. And your dealer has to look it up. So you can't, I think you can call Ford customer support. They can actually see it in there and they can see it. But for the most part, your dealer needs to get it. Now, if your dealer does it and they can't find it, again, have them try different ways of looking it up. So we had someone like, it's not there. Now, if it's not, and they've tried all different ways of doing it, then they need to contact their field rep. Now we have field reps. I don't know whose ours is. So we're actually in limbo right now because we're sales and inventory specialist has said, okay, I'm not working with you now. I'm moving on because I'm a field rep for a different region. So now we have a field. I'm like, okay. So I contacted our head of the region and said, who's our field rep? And he told me who it was. And he says, I'll give you the hierarchy and send that to you, which he didn't, but he will eventually. But so you'll need to contact your field reps at this point.
Okay, good. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's been changed as of November 1, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to look. I actually found last year. I found it because do I still have it posted? I had it posted somewhere. I had all of our people, and I had our sales and inventory specialist manager's name. And so if I know she's busy, that I would just go to him, and I was getting answers like that. So I figured out the hierarchy. So I'll find that for us so that we get that.
Now, I will say with customer support, if you call them, they can't tell you the parameters of any offers that are in there. That's why actually they had contacted us. They were like, hey, I have an ICI offer. My dealer can't see it. They don't know where to find it, but customer support told me they have it. Here's my certificate number. Can you tell me what the parameters are, and will it work for me?
Yeah.
I looked at it. Does not work on Maverick, which
No,
usually ICI offers do not work on Maverick.
They'll work on basically vehicles that they can't sell.
Yeah,
That's the way I look
I
at
basically was like, well,
Yeah.
okay, so you have these vehicles that they have offers because they aren't selling, or they
Yes.
need to get them
or
off
they
the
need
lot
to move
quickly.
them, or they want to be first in F series. So you'll see them on Super Duty and F-150s
Yeah.
because they want to move them, but they won't put them on Raptors. They won't put them on, when they had Shelbys and such. They won't put them on all those. So yes. But anyway, so yeah, those ICI offers, there are eligible vehicles, and Maverick is not one of those.
Yeah.
On those. And ICIs, basically if you're it's Ford says, hey, these customers haven't bought in a while or whatever, so we're going to send them a special offer to see if we can entice them to buy a vehicle. And I can't remember what's the ICI stand for. I can't remember. Something customer,
I don't know.
Anyway, but those offers, and so you might fall into that. Now you got to look at those parameters, and some of those are compatible with the other private offers, and some are not. So you got to make sure if they pull the certificates, like if you were a Farm Bureau, it would have showed Farm Bureau. I'm not a Farm Bureau member, so it didn't show. But when you pull those incentives, it would show the transition private offer in there. It would also show you the Farm Bureau if you're eligible for that. If you had an ICI offer, it'd show that. Well, when they go to do the deal, I didn't show you that screen. They actually would click on those different offers. So then they'd click on the transition private offer. They'd click on the Farm Bureau. They click on the other. Then they click on another screen that says whether or not they're compatible with each other. And in some situations, ICI may not be compatible with the transition private offer.
Mm-hmm.
So you would do that at the time of sale. Once you get a VIN number, they can see that as well and go in there and do that. But
because I was also asked about, are there incentives for Maverick? Are there special rates? Not at this time. Special rates and incentives are usually for vehicles that they're trying to move. For example, we have a bunch of 23s, so they had cash offer.
Well, Edge has got great rates right now.
Why are we frozen? Okay.
This is the delay.
As for Farm Bureau certificates, if it expires in January, you'll need to get a new PIN. Right? You have a Farm Bureau certificate number. Does it auto roll?
So here's the deal. You depend on when you remember the screen earlier that not that screen. Go back to this. Pull that back up. Close it. All right. So go back to this. So this screen here. So when you go to select your incentives of what they're based off of, if you select sale date or production date. So here's the deal. If you ordered in 23 calendar year and you're a Farm Bureau member for the year for 23, you want to make sure you use protect date because then the Farm Bureau would work.
Yes.
If you weren't a member in 23, but you are in 24, and that's when it comes in, and hit sale date instead, then it should show up to get it. So it's whenever you are getting the vehicle, you had to be a member in that year.
But they're a member now, and they're going to be a member in 24.
Then their vehicle should be fine.
Okay. They don't need to generate a PIN. It's going to be automatically in there.
I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest, all the rules on that, but
yeah, we don't get too technical into things like that.
I don't work in finance, so there's some of that, and I don't work the desk either. But some of those parameters, it'll tell you what the rules are on that. But yeah, sometimes you still have to show your membership card. Yeah, you still have to show proof. A lot of times, the dealer will need to hand in the proof of that membership card to get the rebate. Yep. All right, questions, Q&A.
Q&A.
Done? Okay, bye.
Okay. We got 15. What size tires and rims can you put on your Turbo Maverick?
I don't know. I don't know. I think they're 18s on it now, maybe 17s. But
If
I
you
think
can
that
put it
I
on
think
Bronco Sport, you can put it
I
on your Maverick.
yeah, I think 32, 31 or 32s can go on them. Like mine, I don't. I think you can add a lift. Actually, RCR said that they could put a lift on a Maverick,
Yes, they can.
a trimmer. Um,
It's not going to be
most
much,
of them
but
can't do lifts, but they can because advanced 4-wheel drive. I didn't think you could add a
Oh.
lift, but they said they can.
yes.
So I think you can do a little bit of a lift, and then you can put 32s under it. But I think for
Yeah.
right now, stock, I think 31s is.
Yeah.
I think we did well. Okay, Derek's we did a lift, front lift, 2-inch or 1-inch lift, and then put 32s,
Mm.
and they rubbed a little. So anyway, 31, 32. I can't remember the exact size, tire
Yeah.
size, and everything, and rims, but
Stuart Moon will be picking up his Maverick from us on Thursday.
oh, cool.
He's with Mike Lett.
Okay.
Why are the F-150 Raptors 802A taking so long for production?
Well, we know that's the Raptor 37 package. So we can only assume it's either one of two things. Raptor 37 gets the new dual live valve shocks. So it could be either that or the 37-inch tires that'd be my go-to. It's one of those two things. And because 803A is also affected, which is getting the 37-inch tires and the live valve. So
Yeah.
probably one of those two things, but Ford's not telling us. They never
Also,
tell us.
cut production for strikes and.
Well, no, they didn't on F-150 though.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Barry Brown says he received his new Maverick from us today. It came a day early.
Awesome. That's good.
Bronco Sport Badland versus Maverick Lariat Trimmer. Which is the easiest to order?
Bronco Sport Badlands. Actually, well, no, not now. I mean, you could order a Maverick. I mean, because we have no trimmers in the order bank.
And if they're looking to schedule those,
yes, they said they're going to run this many through regardless, and that's why they're going to take stock ones. So you could probably order a Maverick Lariat trimmer from a dealer who has 0 trimmers and probably would get scheduled. Like you could probably order one tomorrow with us and get scheduled this week. I mean, I know.
honestly,
I mean, you probably could. Even though you're not a party too, you'd be a different party because we have 0 tremors. So they will want to get some in there. So
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you probably could get it just as fast as the Bronco Sport Badlands at this point.
Yep.
I'd love to test that theory. So Roy, if you want to order from us, let's test
Let
the
us know.
theory. Let's test the theory. I want to see if I'm right.
All right. Please
MSRP, by the way.
clarify. I have a 23 Heritage Bronco 4-door that today Ford tells me is unscheduled clean, but not canceled. Yet they are scheduling 24s.
Yeah, so they finished production for 23. So what they're talking about is the Heritage 2-doors that were scheduled with VIN numbers are getting canceled, not the 4-doors. So the 4-doors that got VIN numbers and got scheduled are still going to be built.
And
But
if you
yours went unscheduled.
Yes.
So you needed to order or go ahead and order a 24 model year
yes.
order.
Yep.
And I would do that now. I do that tomorrow because they mentioned that their priority was Heritage 4-door Everglades and Raptors. So if I were you, I'd make sure
Get
that your
that
dealer
order in.
ordered the 24 for you. If you're 23, we had a few. We had about 8, I think, Heritage editions that went unscheduled. And I will say this: last week, even though they didn't schedule, they previewed last week.
So they're looking at them.
So you would want to make sure tomorrow you get that 24 order in if they didn't do that for you already. So yes, sometimes you got to be a little proactive because not all dealers are paying attention. In fact, I need to do that tomorrow. Make sure that we've got those all in. We have that member that has that Heritage Edition 2-door that he scheduled in 23 that went unscheduled and we couldn't schedule for 24 yet. We can now.
Yes.
That just opened up today.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure we get his order in. So
Yeah, I saw it saved in there.
Yeah.
We need to get it submitted. When will production begin for Platinum and over F-150s?
Platinum Plus is that Platinum Plus package.
Oh,
remember?
yes.
It's the new limited. I can't remember. Was it the first of the year? What was it? I think 23 ends on the 22nd, and so then after they get back from holiday, then they'll start building 24s. So, and I I don't think Platinum Plus is like a late availability or anything. So they should start making those right off the bat. So I guess.
We did have someone comment, and I didn't star it for later. We have someone that commented saying that they got their order in for the Lightning Flash with Bill.
Oh, good. Okay. And we got no allocations for some reason.
How does one pay for aftermarket add-ons at McArthur? Can the aftermarket payments be put into financing with the vehicle?
Yes, they can. You can also use your Ford Pants points from your purchased vehicle if you want.
And follow up on that, shipping can also be added into the finance.
Yeah.
Because we will figure that out before it gets here.
As well as, don't forget, we can't, out-of-state deals, we can't charge sales tax. So if you want sales tax, we can finance that in as well.
Yes, we'll get it figured out.
Make sure you get with your finance guy to talk about that.
Yes.
And figure out what your sales tax would be so that we can cut you back a check for that.
Yep. What is your shipping cost to the East Coast? To get that, we would have to get you your salesman would get you with our shipping coordinator, and she would get a quote for us.
Yep. We'd try to get estimates on that because a lot of the shippers, if we say, hey, we got one, we want to know what it's going to cost to ship from here to there, they're like, okay, they bid on it, right? But they're ready to ship now. So only the people that bid are people that are available to do that job right now. And so they'll get aggressive with it right now. So we may not it'll have to be an estimate and not an actual what it costs until we actually have the vehicle to ship, because so that number could change a little bit. But
anyway, we get the estimate, and then once we're ready to ship it out, we bid it. So then whoever takes the bid, it could be higher, it could be lower. Tim talked about a tonneau cover for his trimmer Maverick. Is it the one from Las Vegas from Fast Top?
Yes.
Yes.
It's on order. We don't know when it'll be. I told him, I said, hey, Blake is taking care of it. I says, well, you probably ought to tell him that I talked to Grant and he's on one of my videos on YouTube, and maybe they'll put a rush on it. I said,
we plan to do a video. Let's get a rush.
Yes. So anyway, we'll get it when we get it. It's all right. So
someone newer to the channel, what does it mean when your Maverick is scheduled?
That means that it's been scheduled for a production date. So, like if they schedule this week, they're going to schedule for production dates in January or February. So once it gets scheduled, they'll tell you an estimate of when it should get built, but that date can move a little bit. Yes. But it gets a VIN number and it gets scheduled. So that means that
puts you in line to get built.
That means it's going to definitely get built. So
just ordering puts you in line to get scheduled. Schedule puts you in line to get built. So.
Yep. So scheduled for production.
I have a 23 Bronco model year Heritage 4-door that was unscheduled. I placed a new 24 model year order with the same dealer with the same order code. Will Ford help prioritize my order? Your dealer needs
to prioritize it. So it's up to your dealer, because no, they're not doing what they did to Maverick because they said it's the dealer's fault if they didn't get it scheduled, because they told the dealers how many they could take and they shouldn't go over this number. So if yours went unscheduled, they're saying that the dealer dropped the ball on that. So they're not giving private offers or prioritization on those. So what you need to do is your dealer needs to prioritize by giving you like a priority 3, which is the best priority.
Yeah.
So that's typically what we do as well. So we leave ours, the default is like 19. So when we place a new order, we probably leave it at 19, but then we know, like we had one in there that's a priority 3 right now that we know was a Heritage Edition that didn't get scheduled. So we put it as a priority 3. So it has the lowest number. So that's how you would be prioritized. So it's up to your dealer.
Yeah.
I guess that's the short answer and to my long answer.
I called Ford this week to ask when the tracker will be refreshed because mine has been stuck since 9/14. They said I had an offer and would send me an email on my Bronco. Follow up to that, if mine is built and stuck in Michigan, why would I get an offer? That's probably an ICI offer.
Yeah, it's probably one that just automatically generated. It just happens to be that your vehicle's there. Probably has nothing to do with your vehicle being there. And I would say there's probably a lot of them stuck in there because you got to remember that because of the strike, Ford can say what they want about, hey, we're still shipping them out of there, but no, yours was built like the week right before the strike happened. And so
unless they were shipping them out one at a time.
Yeah, yours kind of was stuck in that yard. And I think actually we saw that it moved to
It
another
bounced
yard.
between different yards. It bounced to a different yard and then back to the original yard.
Yeah. So now that it's up
Maybe
and
they were
running,
just moving them to make it look
hopefully.
like they're
And
shipping
of
out.
course,
To
you're a
create
member, so
movement.
we update the status of yours each week. So we'll just have to see where it's at Friday, but hopefully it's gets moved.
Yes.
Right.
Basil, the last question said he did get a priority 3.
There you go.
So that is
It's
the
about
best
as best you can do.
that a dealer can give you.
Yep. And Ford won't prioritize it to 2 on those, not like they did with the Maverick.
How long does it take to get for the car to leave from you to Kentucky? I can't wait.
It's up to the shipper. I mean, we put it in as soon as the deal is done. Finance manager says, "Yep, I got everything I need. You can go ahead and ship." We've had situations in the past where we went ahead and set up shipping as they were doing paperwork, and then we've had vehicles go out and paperwork hasn't done, and you can tell what that fiasco would be for us.
Yeah.
So paperwork has to be completed and everything and done. Once that's completed, finance gives it then to the shipping coordinator and says it is good to ship. And then they set it up and it's up to the shipper. Sometimes the shipper will say, yep, I can do that. And they're the cheapest or whatever. And then they don't come for a day or 2.
Yeah.
And so we don't really know. So a lot of times they try to coordinate theirs, especially if they pick up in a 6-car hauler. You know, they have 6 they're going to pick up and they try to, pick up in several locations.
They don't like to dry haul. For them, hauling time is money. So if they can pick up 6 in one location and drop them off on one route to then pick up 6 more at the end of that route, they're going to do that.
Yeah. Or if it's a 3-car, some of these are a 3-car hauler.
Most of them are 3 cars.
Yeah. And then that's the same thing is that once they get there to Kentucky, they want to have to plan one they can take in Kentucky and go somewhere else.
At least 1, if not 3.
Yep. They don't want to waste miles.
Yeah.
Anyway. But that goes out pretty quick. Barry can probably tell you. Barry Brown just got his
a day early.
And so you might ask him when the paperwork is signed and find out how long it took. But once it's actually picked up from here, it really doesn't take long. I mean, they get across the country fast. It's usually a day or 2.
They do. It's like, how do you get there that fast?
Yeah. They get there pretty quick.
They pull a Lebo and drive all night. Or a Ridgeview.
G Fuel. Worked for me.
All right. I'm going to check here.
Anything else?
Yeah, we had a couple. I wanted to make sure we didn't have any others before I answered these. Would it make sense to have some of the stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself displayed in the background next Tuesday? I usually have my cup.
Is there something going on next Tuesday I need to know about that we need to be positive? Maybe people don't get scheduled this week.
Yeah.
Maybe we should. You know what? This open part up here won't be filled in. Actually, it should go up right about there. So, and it'll have, but we could probably put something, but it'd have to be big. I actually do want to, I thought about doing a neon sign, but there's no plugins over here.
Oh, yeah.
So I could do one over here.
We might come up with something.
I could do one over here.
It's definitely something that will be in the works. Nostalgia question. What was the most unique Ford you or Tim has seen on the lot? Mine was the GT40 Heritage Special Editions for Mezzers, North and West McArthur.
Yes, that was...
yeah,
that was good. I'm looking at one right now that's a Shelby GT500 Heritage Edition.
Yeah.
In that Brittany blue with the white stripes. The woman's in white stripes. I'm looking right at me right now.
Put up.
Yeah, so that one's pretty cool.
I think I liked North. He got that Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln with the suicide doors. They call it suicide doors.
Is
that the one you're talking
Continental or Town Car?
Continental.
The Continental. It was like their what is it called? Anniversary edition or something. They only made so many. They offered one to him and he was like, I will only take it if you give me number, I think it was 51 or something.
Oh yeah.
And it was his birth year.
Yeah.
So I will only take it if you give me this number. They gave him that number and it's a Town Car or a Continental with suicide doors.
Yeah. They don't call them suicide doors anymore. I don't remember what they call them, but yeah.
Yeah, it was
pretty cool too.
I think that one sticks out the most in my head because I was here when they delivered it.
The Maverick trimmer, Larry. No, just kidding.
Let's see what else. Oh, the petty truck. We had a petty built that would raise and lower itself. I was 7 months pregnant, picturing that at its tallest, getting
you-
in and out of that.
So you pictured a lot of them that we have. Oh,
I've pictured a lot.
we just had the Morgan Wallens
Morgan Wallens.
and
Yep.
Hardee's Super Duty. So
Yeah.
a lot of people, they didn't make a big deal about this, but we were actually the selling dealer to Morgan Wallen and Hardy for the Roush Super Duty that they drove. So they partnered with Roush, but Roush, they wanted Super Duties, and it was like Roush didn't have any stock ones because remember, this is like right after COVID. And so they couldn't like bailment. They usually do bailment where they get them so many and they put the builds on and then they can sell them to the dealers. And they didn't have any bailments. And so, but what they had was 2 long McArthur trucks at their lot waiting to get Super Duty builds put on them that we were able to order. We have our ways.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they picked it up at Roush, but they were our trucks. So we were so when they were done with them, we got them in trade. So we pictured both of them this week. And I pictured the Morgan Wallens trucks. So
yeah, I mean, I pictured quite a few, but the one that stuck out the most was the petty built truck, because I was 7 months pregnant, swinging myself up into this lifted truck that came up to my shoulder, like
we did get
the running boards.
We did get a SEMA build when it was for SEMA.
Yeah,
one time a huge lift on that thing. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, all right, moving on.
Yeah, all right. This is the last question I have. If we missed your question, I'm sorry. Please put in at Sarah Davis with your question and we'll grab it. Once locked into a plan, if a bigger promotional program comes along, would a buyer be disqualified from the better, newer deal? How would the manufacturer Ford do discount-wise in this case?
Okay, so like if we're talking about incentives, right, that's coming out. So you get so I mentioned on the screen, I got to add that back on there. Show you, I close it. See, that's why I should never close it. So when you do this here, right, and whatever's available either at the time of sale or when you ordered, so you get to pick the incentives of one or the other. If there's something that comes in the middle and then expires before it comes in, you lose out on that. So you get to pick either the incentives from when you buy the vehicle or the incentives when you order the vehicle.
Or if order banks are still open and you like that middle promotion, reorder.
Then you reorder. Then you cancel that order and you reorder if it hasn't been scheduled. So
we've seen people doing that.
That's how that would work. So that's how you pick it. You cannot just take any offer. We had that with one customer. It's like, hey, I want this offer, but it expires because it was an ICI. ICI ones do expire at the end of that quarter. The transition private offers do not, and he wanted that, and he couldn't get it because it was his vehicle wasn't going to be here in time, so he wasn't able to get that one. So,
does Ford pass along the federal tax rebate on Lightning?
We were talking about that on leases. I don't remember what the qualifications are on leases. Cause I thought even if you get a lease, you still qualify, but I might be wrong on that. I'm not sure. Great question. I don't know. I'd have to look at the tax information on that. Whether or not leases work or if it's just a retail purchase, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
And Ford doesn't technically pass along those. Those are tax credits that you earn from the government. And so when in January, if dealerships sign up for it, they can do that at the time of sale, if that's what you're referring to. But they have to sign up with the tax office and everything for that. So
Ford is currently building 4% of production for Super Duty King Ranch at this time. What was the percentage of production before the pandemic?
It was, I don't know, before. It was pretty low then too.
Yeah.
I think that what the issue we're having now is that because there's pent up demand, pent up like vehicle and orders are been pent up. And so especially on those three, that's why it's over, is because we've had people that
Just like with Maverick,
Yeah.
there was a pent up demand that they weren't expecting.
we just got to get to the point where they get
They
caught
get
up,
caught up.
and then we should be back to rolling again. Didn't help that the plant was down.
What's the weather like there in January? Looks like my Maverick will be in late December, and we'll pick up and drive to California if the weather is good.
Don't know. If you don't like it one day, just open
Wait
the door
till the next day.
Yeah, usually it's cold, but usually, I mean, we only got a couple days of snow last year, but
Yeah. It's more of Colorado, which to get back to California, you may have to drive through Colorado if you don't take a certain route.
Yeah, you
And
can go down south.
Colorado is where you
You-
get most of the snow
you probably go down south and go across.
if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's a less direct route, but
We're gonna
less
go
snow.
through Colorado, get to Moab in December. So your mom's a little nervous. I said, we'll have a Bronco. I think we'll be fine. And the highways are usually cleared off.
Yes.
So it should be good.
All right.
Any other questions?
Nope. The one that starred is Jan's I just answered. All right.
Okay. Well,
It's almost 9:30.
nothing else. All right. Well, I think we're about done, folks. If you have any other questions, of course, you can drop them down below and everything, and we'll try to answer those.
Yeah.
Now you don't want to do the at Sarah Davis. So if you're watching now and you don't have a question we didn't answer, or you're watching the replay, you just post it down there. Just comment, and we can see that and try to respond and everything. So,
Yep.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed it and got some information from it. Don't forget, until the next video, stay positive, be kind to one another.
And be kind to yourself.
We'll see you later.